Hi, I'm Chris Berman from ESPN. Coming up next, I know you want to know what's coming up next, so that's why I'm here. The TCI Game of the Week.
Last year, the Troy Colts went undefeated in the regular season, only to lose by a field goal in the playoffs. This year, we saw Troy decisively beat Clarkston in the first game of the season. The Adams Highlanders clearly remember their last game of the season. They lost in a close contest to rival Rochester. Tonight, it's Troy and Rochester Adams on the TCI Game of the Week.
The TCI Sports High School Football Game of the Week.
Tonight from Adams High School, it's the Troy Colts taking on the Adams Highlanders. Hello everyone, Dave Zorin along with Joe Abramson here at Adams High School. And Joe, both teams coming off some very tough games last week.
Oh yeah, Adams lost to Lake Orion, a huge upset, and if they want to go to the state playoffs, there's no way you're going to make it at 7-2. 8-1 is going to be tough enough. They have to win the rest of the way, even though it's only the third week. Troy beat Seaholm 7-0. Usually a close game when these teams play, but Troy should have won 21, maybe 28-0. They got inside the 20, kept turning the ball over with fumbles and interceptions. Never let Seaholm, though, get past the 50, so you know their defense is ready. Big key tonight is the offense versus defense matchup. Adams featuring Charlie Sanders against the huge Troy defense, which has that team ranked in the top 5 in the state. Usually when it's that kind of a matchup, it's going to be something else that decides the game, like maybe Jared Topher running the ball for Troy or somebody on Adams' defense making the difference. Big thing for both teams, though, get on the board early before the clouds roll in and the rain comes down.
Okay, we have threatening skies right now before the kickoff, and we'll be back with the kickoff right after these messages. Stay with us.
Your best shot on the next edition of Roadshow Video. This month, Bubba and Pat take you to the Double Action Shooting Center in Madison Heights to see how sharp their shooting skills are. They'll talk to experienced shooters and see who can get closest to the bullseye. So for the best in pop music videos and what's happening in the area, watch Roadshow Video. Tonight at 9 on Channel 63.
TCI Sports Game of the Week. This week we're at Adams High School in Rochester as the Troy Colts travel to Adams High School to take on the Highlanders. Last year's records, the Troy Colts 7-0, 9-1 overall, 6-1 for Rochester, the loss coming to Rochester Adams, and their overall record. The Troy Colts 1-0, 2-0 overall, and 1-1 for Adams. The kickoff goes out of bounds and the penalty flag flies, and the Highlanders get good field position on their first possession, Joe.
And the Highlanders going to try and establish the run, obviously, with the wing T offense. Obviously, Charlie Sanders getting the ball. Troy going to have to stop him. A little different offense than what they faced last week, a little more power, a little stronger running back than what they faced, and a little different type of blocking. Last week, a lot of misdirection, a lot of counters. This week, it's more right at you. You've got to read what the offensive line does rather than what the backfield does. Totally different game plan, but Troy, always defense first. You know they're going to be ready for it.
Here we go. In motion, the Adams Highlanders send a man in motion and a lot of movement on that offense, and that's something that Gary Griffith talked about. It's going to be tough to track that offense.
And you know that they're going to bring some stuff out that's new also. If you're going to beat Troy, and if you've seen them anytime over the last 4, 5, 6 years, you're usually going to have to throw somewhere along the line, and even though Adams isn't a throwing team, they've got a returning quarterback, and Jason Janiski was 5-0 last year. In fact, last week was the first time he ever lost a game. As you see the replay there, he just wasn't able to find an open man. They're going to have some of his experience and leadership to win this game.
Janiski hands off tackle this time to number 41, and we'll be calling that number
Matt Fisher.
That is Matt Fisher. But the other one, number 20, Charlie Sanders, is the one that the Troy Colts will have to key on.
Well, if you're 5'9" and your name's Sanders and you're a running back, you should wear 20. And at 214, he's pretty close on the size there, too.
There you see number 41, Matt Fisher. Fisher and Sanders will be carrying the load in the backfield.
And Sanders just came off for this play, so we know we won't be calling him right now.
Back to pass, Janiski. And he is sacked for a loss by number 89, and we saw him in the Clarkston game, John McCall. He came out of that game hurt, but he is back in there now this week.
Yeah, John McCall, a two-way end for that team, and really Janiski slipped in the backfield. You'll see right here, he's trying to buy a little bit of time, get an open man. Troy obviously doing a great job of covering the receivers, and right there he fell down. McCall just covered him up. Adams in a punting situation, 3 downs and out.
And they have to punt now. Punting is McCoy. And they'll get a good Highlander bounce to almost the 30-yard line. In fact, just inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. So a good punt for the Highlanders. And it gets the Troy Colts back in their own territory at their own 29.
Now we'll see what Troy can come out and do. Gary Griffith mentioned us before the game, because of the imminent weather, got to come out and score early. Last week 7 points was enough for them. The week before 7 would have been enough as well, as they won 14-6. Give the ball to Topher and just let him go.
We talked about the clouds moving in, and the weather forecast showed some thunderstorms moving into the area. And Gary Griffith saying that they would like to score first. They would like to get on the board. On the carry was number 25, Dan McCarty.
We saw Dan McCarty do a pretty good job himself against Clarkston 2 weeks ago. He had about 60 yards. Topher had 188, so obviously that's going to overshadow it. But, you know, fullback's becoming the in vogue thing in football nowadays. So doing a good job.
2nd and 7 coming up now. I formation pro set for the Colts. And a handoff again, a dive, and this time it's Topher, Jared Topher on the carry.
This is your basic Troy offense. Just pound it right up the middle and 3 yards in a cloud of dust. They had talked earlier about trying to establish a passing game early in the season. So far, they haven't been able to do it, so they're going to go with their strength. And against a team that matches up size-wise with them, it's the best thing to do. You don't want to put yourself in a hole.
3rd down and about 4 coming up. It'll be a short 4.
This will be an interesting thing to see if maybe they do try to go to the passer. Usually this would be a passing down.
Kyle Rance, the quarterback. And they go off tackle. Topher with the first down and more across the 45 to the 46.
If you can do that on 3rd and 4, you might as well keep moving. Topher, you know, 188 yards first week. I know he had a good game last week. And the only problem he did have, though, they turned the ball over, and I think he had a couple of the fumbles, but I know that Troy got inside the 20 on Seaholm a few times and fumbled the ball away. Obviously, it's a big key this week.
First down for the Colts just past the 46-yard line, their own 46. I formation, handoff to the first man through, and a good run for McCarty.
They'll bring up 2nd down and about 2. This is a good opportunity to try and get Kyle Rance a little confidence maybe. First year as a starter, you see McCarty take that quick dive, follow the pulling guard right through. Easy 8 yards, 2nd down, long 2. This is a good opportunity maybe to let Rance air it out and come back. You've got to figure that Topher's going to be able to pick up the 3 yards on 3rd down if they have to, but try and get Rance with a little confidence here.
Kyle Rance, the quarterback, 2nd down and about 3 coming up. He's got his man open down the sideline for the first down, and that is Freilich, Gary Freilich, listed as number 10. But he changed his number to number 12, and we do have the correction for you.
And there's basically an easy pass play, just a quick hitch. You look out, turns, gets to the first down marker, turns around, catches it, and then does what he can afterwards, which in this case, because of the good coverage there by number 26, Steve McCaldon, wasn't much, but it still got him the first down and got Rance a completion on his first attempt.
1st and 10, Troy Colts on the move in their first possession. Handoff to McCarty, straight up. And gain of maybe a couple yards before the Highlanders stack him up.
Yeah, they faked a little misdirection with Topher coming around left end, probably setting something up for later.
They keep using the fullback McCarty on the first downs, and this time doesn't really pay off as much as last time. They'll stack him up.
And what you don't see on the replay was Topher coming around after the handoff, but they continued to fake. Defense didn't bite on it. Maybe that's something you store in your memory bank and come back to it later.
Gain of 1, it'll be 2nd and 9, and Topher on the carry, twisting and turning inside around the line of scrimmage, and he's stacked up for maybe another yard gain, so it'll be 3rd and long now for the Colts.
All right, now Adams rising to the occasion a little bit here, presenting Troy with what should be an obvious passing down. There you see tonight's officials. I'm sure a well-experienced crew, but what they're going to have to do here is now Rance has a completion. Maybe he's got a little more confidence. Rochester Adams isn't just going to back down and die, and they probably are a little ticked off after losing last week to Lake Orion. Lake Orion's a good team, but they're not supposed to beat Adams, and Adams knows they can't afford another loss.
Here we go, 3rd and long. Big play right here in this drive for the Colts. They go downfield and just past the outstretched hands of Freilich.
Yeah, he had Freilich. Freilich was able to kind of hide himself between the D-backs. Rance saw him, just wasn't able to get the ball there. The play's there. Watch him give a hint of a fake. Nobody bought it. He really didn't try to sell the fake either. He's got Freilich open. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it on the replay. There he is. He got himself between 2 defensive backs there. Just got to get the ball there.
And the punt for the Colts. It'll go inside the 10. Will they stop it? They keep it in? No. It went into the end zone. A good effort down there by number 43, Corky McCarthy, to try to knock that back in, and he just missed it. I think he might have been on the line. Let's take a look.
Let's take a look if we can see just where it is he touches. And that ball, well,
I don't know. It looked good the first time.
Yeah, I don't know what the rule is, though. You know, in high school it might be different, that if the ball itself crosses the plane, maybe it is.
Yeah, maybe it
we don't know the rule.
Across the plane of the goal line. So anyway, here we go. 1st and 10 for the Highlanders. And this time it's Sanders. Sanders off tackle and bounces outside for a good gain of about 8 or 9 yards.
And, you know, the first series, they never went to Sanders. Kind of surprised considering he's their main offensive weapon. See, they're 5'9", 214 pounds, highly recruited running back, and Charlie Sanders Jr., obviously the son of the legendary Lions tight end.
And this is why. Watch this run outside, just runs over people, and he's got some speed, too.
That's a new dimension he's added this year.
This time they go up the middle, and a good run by number 41, Fisher.
Well, that time, they faked the option with that wing T, and everybody played for Janiski to either keep it or pitch to Sanders to the short side, and Fisher had clear sailing for the first down.
So not only is Sanders a great threat when he has the ball, he's a great threat when he doesn't have it, as the Colts took the fake option and let Fisher go for the first down. Fisher again on the carry, and he will not stop as he lunges forward for another couple of yards. McCall on the tackle.
Well, that time they didn't really try to run the fake. That was just a basic fullback dive. Good first down play. Pretty similar to what Troy's doing, fullback dives on first down. As far as you mentioned before, Sanders being a decoy in high school football, really at any level, when you got to start, it's a big, you kind of have to use him as a decoy. You know the defense comes in to stop him. We saw it last week where the defense in the second half tried to stop the Kimball quarterback, Jeff Davis, so they ran for 200 yards in the second half.
This time it's Sanders. He's got a hole and takes it for about a 5-yard gain. It'll be 3rd down and short yardage coming up. 4 minutes and 37 seconds and counting down here in the first quarter.
Yeah, with both teams running as much as they are, the clock is running very fast. Here's just quick fake. Didn't really try to sell the fake once again, but that time Sanders takes it off tackle, gets what he can. I mentioned before, strength is a new dimension he's added this year. He's always been kind of strong, but he really put himself in the weight room all off season. He's got himself where he can run some people over.
3rd and about 3, and this time Fisher is hit in the backfield and barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. Number 25, McCarty, gets in there.
Yeah, well, whatever the reads are that Troy has, and mentioned earlier last week with their opponent, what they read was the backfield because that's the key in that offense. In this offense, it's the linemen, and they read that that option coming to the short side wasn't there. It was going to be a fullback dive. They read it and stopped it for almost no gain.
There's a Troy head coach, Gary Griffith, as he looks on after a tough victory last week, 7-0 over Seaholm. Ball hits just inside the 30, and they take it down probably at about the 27, 28-yard line. We'll see where they mark it, and that's where the Troy Colts start. So both teams showing a little bit of offense, but really the stalls, drives on both sides, just eating up the clock.
Kind of feeling each other out a little bit. You know, you mentioned a tough victory for Troy last week. Basically, both teams played flat last week. Only difference is Troy was able to manage a win out of it. Adams wasn't. Mentioned before, in their region for the playoffs, nobody 7-2 ever makes it, and always somebody 8-1 doesn't. So 8-1 is the worst you can possibly be.
Saw Topher in the backfield. He's the one who gets it off tackle and trying to bounce it outside, and gain of about 4 yards on the play. Let's see where they mark it.
Yeah, I guess they gave him about 2.
No, they didn't give him much. Yeah, you're right.
And let's see right here, he just wasn't able to get outside the containment.
Good tackle out there by number 23, McCoy. Damon McCoy, one of the captains.
Let's have to see if Troy tries to go back to the pass. The first pass was a good completion. The second pass, the play was there. If they can just execute the plays, they're going to be able to open the offense a little bit.
In motion is Topher, single back, that's McCarty. He will block for Rance as he gets pressured, unloads downfield, intercepted. The Highlanders come up with the first turnover of the game, and down there, I believe it's number 34. Number 34 looked like he was down there.
Yeah, Jeff Midbow.
Jeff Midbow. The senior, 5'8", 152. Let's take a look.
Right, you can see Rance, again, there's no play action on this pass. This is just a quick rollout, and he had to hurry the pass because he was getting rushed there by Kevin Shad. Threw it right into Midbow's hands. Basically, you're going to see here from another angle, number 70 is right there on him. He can't wait anymore to get rid of that ball.
Yep. And back to the action on the first down play.
That was Brian Anderson this time.
Looked like number 45.
49.
49, Brian Anderson. Yep. Anderson gaining about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6 coming up.
You got to figure eventually Adams is going to start giving Sanders the ball a little bit more. There's no reason to really hide him at this point. You know, it is only the first quarter, but he's going to get him his 20, 25 carries somewhere along the line.
This time right up the middle, Fisher manages to stay on his feet and gain about 2 or 3 after that. So it'll be 3rd down and short yardage coming up for the Highlanders.
3rd down and short, but not short enough to be an obvious running situation.
Yeah.
And who knows, I mean, really with both these offenses, you never expect a pass. But I think both defenses have played so well that somebody's going to have to either throw the ball to score or maybe the defense will have to score.
Jason Janiski, the quarterback. 3rd down and 4. First down for Sanders, and he keeps driving. It takes about 5 or 6 Colts to stop him, and he still was on his feet when they blew the whistle.
Yeah, he didn't go down until he basically had stopped his motion, and I think assumed that everyone was going to let go of him. The whistles had blown a long time ago. Watch right here. He stutters a little bit, takes it outside, and right there he's got the first down. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 Colts, 6 of them. He's still up.
First down in Colt territory. Janiski rolls out, and incomplete out there in the direction of number 9, and that is Wesley, Craig Wesley.
And he didn't have much time. He could have bought about a second more. He had Chad Boyd starting to release downfield, and he might have had a touchdown out of the plate. Not a bad decision, though. He didn't have time to make the turn and throw that ball. He had got rid of it, similar to what Rance did at the last possible second.
And if you hear some yelling in the background, now, those are the Highlander coaches. They are not words that Joe and I would say.
No.
Here's Sanders hit in the backfield for a loss. Getting in there, number 66, Kowalik. Adam Kowalik on the tackle.
Here you see Sanders just wasn't able to, nothing he can do about that. Kowalik comes from the weak side and comes around and gets him. 3rd down and about 12, an obvious passing situation. Adams hasn't really come close to completing a pass yet in this first quarter. Gonna have to pull something out here. And Sanders, third down and long, he's coming out again.
Loss of almost 2 yards. 3rd and 12 now, big passing down for Janiski, one of the captains, a senior. Back to pass. He's got a man open down the sideline, complete to Anderson. Anderson down at the 5-yard line.
They just ran a 3-streak route. They hit Anderson on the right side. They had Chris Wason down the middle, Craig Wesley on the left side, and all of them were going deep. He picked out whoever he wanted to throw it to. Decided to go to Anderson down the right side. Great throw, great execution.
And a good catch, too. That was right in his face mask. Good concentration, and finally brought down by number 22, Taron Adams.
Now 1st and goal, and Sanders is back on the field.
Fisher driving, he's got the touchdown. He went in almost untouched. Topher finally got him at the last second, but it was too late as Fisher had the momentum.
Yeah, and when you think about it, the shutout Seaholm last week, and Clarkston only scored the 1 touchdown on him with about 50 seconds left in the game when it didn't matter anymore. That's the first meaningful touchdown scored on Troy this year. Here you see again, Fisher found his blocking right into the heart of the Troy defense. Not a whole lot of teams that can do what he just did.
The extra point attempt is up, and it is good. Good, solid kick. And a good kicker for the Highlanders. Chris Wasson is praised by the head coach.
Yeah, only a junior, but he is the returning kicker from last year's team. He said he's been great so far this year. He had a 31-yard field goal last week.
So the Highlanders score first on a big drive, and the key to that drive, obviously, was the big pass play to get them down to the 5-yard line. And a great throw, and this quarterback, Janeski, was gone for most of the season last year.
He played 5 games and got hurt.
Yeah, and that shows you his desire, especially after a tough loss last week in his real comeback this year as a senior, and just shows some spark there, and hey, his arm is fine.
Oh yeah, but again, and last week, first time he's ever lost a game as a starting quarterback. Something new. He obviously didn't like the experience. He's going to do whatever he can to change that. Like you said, I don't know of too many teams that can beat Troy without throwing the ball a little bit. Actually, I don't know of any that can simply come out and run on him. Maybe Catholic Central, maybe not. But you've got to somehow get the ball past the linemen without your running backs.
And there's Watson. Who just drilled that extra point through. Made no doubt about it. Let's see here. Good kick, good high kick. Allows for good coverage. Taking it about the 11 though. And here come the Highlanders. And there's the coverage that we talked about. Wasson kicks him high and allowed that special teams to get down there.
Yeah, and Taron Adams never had a chance to even try to set something up. He tried to bring it back to the middle of the field and get some blocking, but there was nothing happening. He ran 20 yards to the right and 2 yards forward.
Let's take a look at the Adams scoring drive. 7 plays, 59 yards, 2 minutes and 37 seconds off the clock, capped off by the 5-yard run by Fisher. And that will end the first quarter of play as the Highlanders manage to get in with 13 seconds left to get the first score. And they lead the Colts 7-0 here.
Probably a little bit of a surprise for most people that they would even have the lead. I think most of the experts, I don't know what Cosmo picked, but I think most people picked Troy.
Well, you're looking at the Colts probably not really counting the passing game of the Highlanders in this too much. They're really trying to concentrate on the running of Sanders.
Yeah, probably, but at the same time, Troy knows that. I mean, even Charlie Sanders, as good as he is and as good as his line is, nobody runs on these guys. I mean, it just doesn't happen. And teams that have beaten them or that have at least taken them to the brink of defeat have either had the big play on a kick return or something like that, or they've been able to throw the ball somewhere along the line. And right there, that's how that score happened. That was the one long pass that set up the touchdown, and it just makes the defense open up a little bit more. They can't just contain the middle.
So the Highlanders strike first here on their home field and really trying to get fired up after, as Joe said, really a loss that shouldn't have happened and really surprised the Highlanders last week against Lake Orion.
Yeah, that's Lake Orion, a team that was a non-conference game. It's a Division II team. These are both Division I teams in the Oakland Activities Association. But, so they've still got a chance to win their league, especially if they can win this game. But obviously, their backs are against the wall every week for the rest of the season.
Here come the Colts. Rance handing off to McCarty. McCarty almost got the ball stripped. That gets up to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, another typical thing of a team like a Troy, a conservative team. They're not going to panic. They're down 7-0. I mean, it's not a big deal. You don't come out and air it out right away. You just go with your basic stuff and keep working at it. And McCarty there right off the guard again. Fullback dive, first down play. Same thing they've been doing every first down.
You could see Kevin Shadd trying to strip that ball loose in there. And McCarty held on. Second down and about 4 yards. And taking it himself is Rance for first down carry, and that one surprised a lot of people, Joe.
I don't know. I hope we get to see that again. I don't know if he dropped the snap or not.
Yeah, that might have been a broken play.
It looked like everybody stopped, and I think he just fumbled the snap. Let's take a look. There's the snap coming right here. I got it. That's going slow. No, that was just a quarterback sneak. It just looked so unorthodox.
Yeah.
Great play.
He just took off. Didn't even take a step back. He just went forward. First down. Ball at the 34-yard line, and nothing there.
Chad
Adams
Boyd.
Highlanders ready for that one.
Chad Boyd just flattened him.
Let's take a look.
Take a look at this here. I think it's McCarty again. Chad Boyd right there levels him.
And getting in there, it was Chad Boyd, number 84, one of the captains, 6 foot, 188. Second down and 9 now for the Colts. As the Highlander defense fired up. 2 men in the backfield, McCarty and Topher. Going to the air is Rance. He's got his man outside. Got a nice gain out of it, but not enough for the first down as he hits Scott Michael outside.
That's the same play they ran to Freilich in the first quarter. Just a quick hitch to get you about 5 yards. You see Rance just looks left, just to make the defense bite a little bit, goes right. Simple hitch play. You got to do something to open up the offense a little bit anyway. That might set up a hitch and go later or something else down the middle. At least it spreads the defense out a little bit, makes the linebackers play off just maybe a half a yard.
Here we go, back to the action. Topher, first down and more. Finally driven out of bounds at about the 40-yard line.
That might be the half yard we were just talking about. All of a sudden the linebackers, who might have been a little closer before, have to play for that. Play for the pass, play for the stuff coming to the outside. You're going to see Topher just go right off his blocks, and he's got an open hole. Before he didn't have that hole. He had a linebacker there to get him after the 2 yards.
And Topher picking up first down yardage into Highlander territory. This is the first time the Colts have been there.
First back, first back.
And on the carry is McCarty. Correction, they did get over into Highlander territory in the first quarter.
That's right.
Continue now with the cheerleaders.
It's the first time they've done it this quarter. There's Jim DeJager, the head coach for Adams, on the other side of. There he's talking to one of the Highlander players.
And Krista Schmidt. In 1994.
Only second down and 8 now for the Colts.
When you look at the defensive setup, they're not giving him that hitch anymore. He's got Anderson right up there on Scott Michael.
Here's the reverse and giving it to Topher. Topher not much, but a flag down and in the territory of holding.
Kind of interesting if the first penalty of the game's against Troy, because I know that one of the things Gary Griffith, it's kind of funny the penalty that just got called too. It's not holding, it's clipping. One of the things he mentioned about the wing T offense is that there's clipping all over the place by the nature of the offense. And it's just a matter that it happens so quickly that officials don't see it, and you have to hope that they're watching for it. Well, there's the clipping call he's looking for. It just happened against his team.
Let's hear the call down on the field.
We got clipping against the white. Second down.
That happened after the play.
After the play, yep.
Scott Michael came over. I'm pretty sure I saw who he threw that flag at, and it's on the replay. It's barely noticeable. It's not even, can't really even point it out. But Scott Michael came up behind Anderson. It looked like he was pushing him from behind, and that's right where that flag was landing. I didn't see anything else going on. It looked like a clip.
And the clip is a big penalty, knocks him back. Second down and 21 now.
There probably was somebody else, and I'm blaming the wrong guy.
Topher in motion. Rance, quick pass out to Topher, wide open out there, and he picks up a couple of blocks. Topher may have the first down. No, finally driven out of bounds by number 9, Wesley. Wesley, the defensive back, just got him before he picked up the first down.
We need a ruling on that, if that was that a run or a pass. I think that's a run. That looked like he threw that backwards. Let's take a look here.
Where he looks.
I say he threw that
forward.
He threw that parallel.
Parallel.
That's a pass then. Parallel's a pass.
Here we go.
That was dead parallel.
3rd and 2. I formation in the backfield. Big play here for the Colts on this drive. Will the Highlanders stop them? They get him in the backfield. And it's going to be very close. Let's see where they mark it.
Yeah, it's not that big a deal. If you got 4th and inches, you go for it. You know, if you can't get 4th and inches,
they got it.
Something's wrong, but they got it on 3rd down.
Colts pick up a first down. Let's take a look on the play.
Just follow the Hogs right into the line. And he actually did have to struggle a little bit. Wasn't able to get the final block that he needed. There were about 4 Adams defenders there to stop him. He almost prevented him from getting the first down.
There you see McCall, and there's Rance. 1st and 10 for the Colts. And a timeout call down on the field
By Adams.
by the Highlanders.
Yeah, probably trying to set up something. Now, this is the first time Troy's defense has been able to move the ball consistently on them. They're going to make their adjustments right now. You got to figure Troy, except for that one little hitch play, it's been all runs. See what else they can set up.
Next week, we stay in Rochester as the Berkeley Bears take on the Falcons. That's Saturday and Monday at 7 p.m.
Yeah, interesting game. That'll tell a lot about how the Division III will work in the OAA, because we saw Kimball pretty much have their way with Rochester last week. And Rochester, they're not a bad team. They won 44-0 the week before. Berkeley's the other good team in Division III. If we can compare, logically anyway, how they do against Rochester compared to how Kimball did against Rochester, we might have an idea how they do when they play each other.
8:16 left in the second quarter. The Highlanders lead 7-0 over the Troy Colts, but the Troy Colts driving and have a first down at the 30-yard line of the Highlanders.
Well, it's going to be their 10th play of the drive, taking up almost 4 minutes, keeping Charlie Sanders off the field and Matt Fisher off the field, and wearing down the Adams defense. And again, like we talked about at the beginning of the drive, they're not panicking. They're down 7-0, so they're a little in shock. Somebody scored on them in the first quarter. Just come back and get your offense in gear.
They started this drive back inside their own 20-yard line, about the 18, so the Colts eating up the clock here in the second quarter. McCarty on the carry, and he's stacked up at the line of scrimmage, maybe falling for maybe a yard or two.
Yeah, once again, I think it was Chad Boyd who nailed him before. There you see.
Second down, about 8 coming up now for the Colts.
And that might be Chad Boyd's assignment tonight, is to spy on the fullback.
Boyd with a big hit earlier on Topher. And sparked the Highlanders. They've got to come up with a big play here to force the third. Second down and 8. And Rance back to pass. He's got McCarty wide open at the 20. To the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Colts. No flags. And the Colts come right back on this drive. And they score on a pass play, Joe.
The funny thing was he had Gary Freilich open deep, didn't go to him, but then Gary Freilich made probably the key play to making this a touchdown. And we'll probably be able to see it here. Let's take a look. He's looking downfield, and right about here he's got Freilich open. Instead he goes short. Let's see if we can take a look. Right, coming up on you right about now. If you stop that for a second, you see Freilich right there. Well, he's back there, but he knocked off number 9. And that freed him up for the touchdown. And both teams' pass plays have been the key to the scoring drives. In that case, it actually was the scoring play. In Adams' case, it was a passing play that set up the score.
And the extra point is good.
And here's a better angle where you're going to see Freilich make the play. Right there, just gets in the way. Again, it's just off to your back there. Knocks off number 9, Craig Wesley, lets him in the end zone. And when they look at this on film on Monday or whenever it is that they look at film, they're going to see that Freilich was wide open for a touchdown. No big deal, they scored anyway, but that's something to use later in the year.
So the Troy Colts tie it up here in the second quarter with 7:34 left.
11 plays on that drive, 54 yards, and the big surprise was Troy 3 for 3 passing on that drive. That's probably the school record. Just 3 pass attempts on a drive is probably a school record at Troy. The thing is, I think Troy's only touchdown last week was on a pass play as well. Pretty sure.
All tied up, 7-7. Back to receive for
Fisher and Sanders.
the Highlanders, Fisher and Sanders.
That may be the all-time no-brain decision.
Here we go. Colts to kick off. O'Meara. It's a low kick, and let's see. Sanders picked it up. He dropped it. A lot of confusion on it.
There was some sort of reverse going on that wasn't working too good. It looked like they were thinking about, you know that silly play they show on ESPN every now and then where everybody kind of gets in the huddle and hides the ball and runs in a million directions?
Let's take a look.
Well, we missed the fumble. I think we're a little late on what happened, but there you see Sanders picking up the fumble after the field. I don't know if it was a handoff or reverse or what they were trying to do. Fortunately for Adams, it bounced up to Sanders, and he was able to get some more yardage out of it. It turned out to be a pretty good play, and they're starting out at the 38-yard line. But
Troy Colts, 11 plays, 81 yards, 4 minutes and 38 seconds off the clock, and then the 28-yard pass from Rance to McCarty. The pass downfield, open, wide open. The big guy, number 84. And that is Boyd, he's done a great job defensively.
Talking about him on defense there, he just got himself open in the zone. He sat down, was able to turn around and run with the ball after it. Take a look right here. See him all by himself. Throws maybe a little bit behind him. Great hands by Boyd. Gets a couple yards after the catch as well. And now, like we saw in the last drive, when Troy was moving the ball and Adams used a timeout, well, now it's the other way around. Adams was moving the ball, Troy uses a timeout, and both these teams worried obviously more about their defense than their offense.
Yeah, the Colts, you saw the defenders way back, and that allowed Boyd to kind of set up there in between them and pick up a big gain for the Highlanders. So both teams really using the pass effectively tonight.
Yeah, and, one of the things we've seen all night, and that probably is something that the Adams coaches talked about, is every pass play they've attempted tonight has been to the right sideline. They haven't done anything down the middle at all. And the defenders were coming out to the right sideline and to the left sideline, guarding the wideouts, and allowed the tight end to get open down the middle in a soft zone. Got, I don't know if that was about 20, 25 yards, whatever, it was a first down.
The TCI game of the week, we're at Adams High School. And there you see head coach Gary Griffith calling the timeout for the Colts, as he didn't like what he saw defensively and tried to make some changes here as the Highlanders get into Colt territory, ball at about the 41. So now the Highlanders with the pass working for them. And don't forget they have Fisher and Sanders in the backfield. Sanders on the short side, and he just runs over everybody. He ran over number 44, Tariq Kazuz, and got down to about the 30-yard line for the first down. Let's see.
Let's take a look here. Sanders just plowing over a couple of guys like you mentioned. He definitely got the first down. Doing a great job. He's not getting a ton of carries. You'd think Charlie Sanders would be getting a ton of carries in this game. I mean, Gary Griffith, you see there's an official timeout. Gary Griffith even said, hey, if that was my guy, 50 carries tonight. But they're using him as a decoy, and a lot of high schools will do that. You got a star like that, you know what the defense is gearing up for, you go ahead and use him as a decoy. It's hard for the kid to be patient like he has, and then when they do call your number to come up with the play, he's done a great job of it.
This time Fisher, and they string him up. McCall there to stop him. And down underneath, holding on, was number 43 for the Colts, Corky McCarthy.
I don't think he maybe got to the line of scrimmage with that. Yeah, second down and 10.
Fisher, there you see him, number 41 on the far side. No gain on the carry. Second and 10 coming up now.
See how confident they really are in that passing game right here.
Jason Janeski, the quarterback. 2 men in the backfield. Sanders outside. The Colts read it. Nothing there, and they sack him for a loss.
That Colts obviously knew what was coming. If Adams had run a bootleg with Janeski keeping the ball, he might have scored a touchdown, but hindsight is obviously 20/20, and they are reading what's going on with the blocking. The blocking would have been different, but they knew what was coming.
Here, watch number 66, Kowalik, get in there.
Yeah, he's in there, and the D-backs came up for support there. You saw number 21, that's Jamie O'Brien. He came up and didn't allow Sanders to try and bust it any farther outside,
beat him outside.
Where he could turn the corner and use his speed.
Third and about 14 now for the Highlanders. Janeski has time, and now the pocket collapses on him and finally brought down by McCarty and number 66, Kowalik.
That's your basic coverage sack. Matt Fisher did a real good job of giving him a little extra time to try and find an open receiver. Problem was nobody was open.
Also in there, Truza, number 64. Let's take a look.
See right there, Matt Fisher holding off Truza, buying a little extra time for Janeski. But like I say, it's not his fault, it's not anybody's fault. There was nobody open. Troy defensive backs did a great job.
Yeah, Truza got in there first and got him. And the timeout for Gary Griffith pays off, as whatever adjustments he made defensively work for him, as you see the sideline for the Highlanders. This is a field goal attempt
of 52 yards.
52 yards. It is up, and it's going to be short.
That's confidence in your kicker.
Yeah.
He slipped on the kick, so that wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, the wind is at his back, so if anything, that would have helped him. And it is getting a little windy out there. You do get some gusts.
The state record is something like 58 yards. I've never seen a 50-yard high school field goal.
Well,
That'd have been something.
the way Wasson got a hold of that extra point, booted that through quickly into the wind. I don't doubt at all why he went for that. And it's no problem because now the Colts get it at the 20. McCarty on the carry. Gain of about maybe a yard if they're lucky.
You know, there again, that's a rule that's a little different from what you see in college with pros too. Normally, as you come back to the line of scrimmage, you don't try that. If that's what you get out of it, what the heck? You ought to try the field goal in all situations because it's the same as punting through the end zone.
Might as well.
You know, I never knew that's what happened. Of course, obviously, because I've never seen anybody try a 50-yard field goal before. It makes sense.
Yeah. Here come the Colts now. Second down. They did pick up about 2, and it's 2nd and 8 now. Rance has 2 receivers split, but he goes on the draw to Topher. Topher bounces outside and gets close to a first down.
And Scott Michael, the wide receiver, who I think got called for that clip earlier, was so careful not to do anything at the end of this play. See if we can take a look as Topher takes it to the outside, and you'll probably see it just near the end of it. You're going to see Scott Michael coming right there. See Scott Michael right there. Tried real hard not to even think about touching anybody. So if he had, they would have thrown the flag, even though he didn't actually, wouldn't have been committing a foul. The looks of it would have been that a hold or a clip was being committed.
Topher getting the handoff deep in the backfield, bounces outside for a first down, and all the way across the field, close to midfield at about the 48, 47-yard line.
You know, once again, Gary Freilich didn't really lay a block on anybody, just got in the way of somebody. Did a good job, just got in the way and allowed him a little extra time. You see Gary Freilich right there, just kind of get in the way. Buys him a little space, lets him get the extra yardage. Now you've got linebackers instead of D-backs chasing you until finally number 9, Wesley, got him. But not, you know, that's long after the first down.
The Highlanders, if you watch, they have tried to strip the ball constantly. If that ball is out there, they're going to try to strip it, so watch for that.
You've got to know they saw
After last week. Yeah, McCarty on the carry, and the Highlanders stop him cold. In there, number 65, and that was Bronze.
You know, and to reiterate what happened last week, Troy won 7-0, but like 3 times inside the 20, they turned the ball over. As there you see McCarty getting maybe barely a yard, holding onto the ball with both hands, probably something they practiced on as early as last Sunday. But yeah, if you watch them turning it over all last week, of course you're going to try and force them to turn it over. And in a game where 2 great defenses and low scoring and all that, defense is going to have to win the game probably.
2nd and about 10 now for the Colts. Pro set, Rance to throw. He's got his man down the sideline and overthrows him, intended down there for Michael.
Well, it didn't matter if you overthrew him or not. The ball was 3 yards out of bounds. Nobody was going to catch that. He didn't even look, though. Michael, you know, the idea with that fade pattern is if you've got tight coverage from the corners, you throw the fade, and the receiver running forward will be able to beat the D-back who's turning, who's trying to run backwards. If the guy's 10 yards off you, you're not going to beat him deep. But it's a timing play, and you run it right away. Gary Freilich's looking on the other side, kind of a little bit more open, not much more open. Really, basically, it's the Adams defense was ready for that play. It was set up that wasn't going to work. But the quarterback, and I don't know if Troy has audibles in their system, usually quarterback should make that read off the coverage and go to a hitch instead. But again, I don't know. They don't pass a whole lot, so they probably don't have that.
3rd and 10. Rance pressured, unloads, intended down there.
That's incomplete.
For number 22, Adams, and that was knocked away. So it's a 4th down situation coming up for the Colts, and they will have to punt.
And I don't know, you know, if Troy will do something at halftime, but if they were to take, basically what they're doing here, take a look here, they're just going basic rolls to the quarterback's strong side. He's getting rid of the ball just as he's getting hit in all cases here. The D-back's there, and even if he had caught it, that's not a first down. If they could run some bootleg passes, they're going to be able to get Freilich with one-on-one coverage on the weak side.
Fair catch asked for by Anderson, and he got it at about the 20. Now, I think that defensive back on the previous play got in there just enough to distract the receiver, Adams.
Yeah, and like I said, even if he'd caught it, it was going to be 6 yards short of a first down. They were going to punt. If they can run those bootlegs, though, the whole defense is committing on those rollouts because you've got a tight end coming this way, a back out of the backfield, and a wide receiver. If he bootlegs it, he's only got one receiver out there, but he's got one-on-one coverage, and he's pretty fast, so you go to him.
2:26 left here in the first half, all tied up at 7 apiece. Anderson moving, and Sanders this time is stacked up.
3:17 left. You don't have enough time to really try and sustain the kind of drives these teams need. Just running the ball all the time. If you're going to do it, you're going to need your breakaway back. Charlie Sanders, in this case, to come up with a big play. At the same time, you want to be careful. You don't want to just air it out, stop the clock on every play, and give Troy that slight chance of being able to score before halftime. If you're Adams, at worst, you go in 7-7.
Anderson in motion again. This time the handoff to Fisher. Fisher is hit and gets about to the original line of scrimmage. Sanders had lost one on the play before, and now they get back up to the line of scrimmage for a 3rd and 10 coming up.
We're going to see right here how content Troy is to go in 7-7, because a lot of teams right here would have called a timeout, again, on defense, but they didn't. The Troy defense, they'll stop them. Adams passing down here, I would look for them just to run a draw.
3rd and 10, big play here now coming up for the Highlanders. So they try to get it out of their end of the field. The Colts will have enough time to possibly get it back. Let's see what happens. Fumble on the play. Ball is loose, and let's see who picks it up.
Adams got it back.
Yep, is Anderson. Anderson fell on it right there.
And I don't know if you could hear the Adams coaches in the background saying, stay in bounds, stay in bounds. Janiski's running that ball to the weak side, and now you've got the Troy timeout with 1:04 left. They want Troy to at least have to burn their second timeout, as they are right now. The ball stayed in bounds. They're going to have to punt. I'll tell you something, the Troy offense, as you see right here, right there, he knows he's got to stay in bounds, so he avoids the hit there. And that wasn't a real hard hit. That was more of just like,
I think Kazuz was trying to go for the ball.
Yeah.
He saw his arm kind of swing back. It looked like he tried to hit the ball out himself.
Did a good job of it. Fortunately for Adams, one of their other players fell on it. And here's a huge stat. Charlie Sanders, 7 carries, 26 yards. That's less than 4 yards a carry, as even mathematicians like us can figure out.
I don't think they've run a good play for him yet. Don't forget the Road Show video program tonight at 9, right after the game, here on TCI 63. Tune in as Bubba on the left and Pat on the right.
Beat us in the butthead.
Well, you think, are they for guns or against guns? And anyway, I don't know if they're going to be talking about this new
one
gun
of them's
law.
got a gun. I don't know if that gun's included in the law, though. I don't think that's part of the crime bill. Squirt guns don't count.
Here we go. Highlanders get a good punt off with the wind at their back. Topher to return. Colts set it up. One man sneaks through. Topher gets past him. And they get it back into Highlander territory. Ball at about the 43-yard line. And that's where the Colts will start as they try to get it in the end zone with 51 seconds left.
Since my favorite thing in the world to do is rag on refs, I'm going to give one credit here. That's not a clip, and 99% of high school refs would have called that a clip because he hit him from the side. Just as he turned, he hit him in the side. It's a legal play, and almost every high school ref calls that a clip. Good non-call.
Here's Rance on the draw to Topher. Topher has a little bit of room to run, and a good play. Getting in there quickly was number 54, Kevin Duffy. The nose tackle there, getting in there for a big stop.
And under 30 seconds left, Troy with one timeout left, not even trying to hurry to the offense up to the line of scrimmage. Figure they're going to try and throw one, maybe get in field goal position and use that last timeout.
Clock winding down, 15 and counting. 2nd down and 7 for the Colts. Rance back to throw, has enough time, unloads downfield, has his man open, and a complete pass to Drew Patrick.
With 1 second left, they get the timeout. And
will you try for a field goal here?
Yeah.
Looks like they are.
I think so.
There's the pass.
We keep talking about blocks, and let's take a look right there. And I don't know if we were able to see it quickly or not. We weren't able to freeze that. Jared Topher saved him. I mean, Kyle Rance was dead on that play. And Topher, let's see if we can see it better here. It's totally out of your picture, but he made a great block. Got in the way of number 54, it's Kevin Duffy. Rance was able to make the pass, and this is going to be about a 46-yard field goal, something like that. 45-yard field goal. So we've seen a 52-yard attempt going the opposite way. It's going to be one long field goal either way.
Let's see where they set up. And the Highlanders had the advantage of going with the wind on their field goal attempt. This is going to be against the wind for the Colts, but again, they have had some good kickers in the past. And some tough shoes to fill here for Freilich.
Is Freilich the kicker?
I believe it's Freilich. Oh, let's
No,
see.
no.
No, who was it? They've got him
I thought
listed
it was
here.
O'Meara. I
It
thought
was
it was Kevin
O'Meara.
O'Meara.
Kevin O'Meara, excuse me.
And I don't think they're trying it either.
No, they're not. They're not going for the field goal. They're going to go one last effort towards the end zone.
What a draw.
If you got Barry Sanders in there, you run a draw. They're going to the other side. He's got him. He's got him. Touchdown.
Wow.
A great play to Chuck Connor, number 16, a junior. And you wouldn't expect him out there.
We've never said his name. This is the second Troy game in 3 weeks we've done. We've
Let's
never
take a
said
look.
this guy's name.
And that's what the Highlanders thought, too. They probably said, all right, well, they're just going to kill 1 second
let's
off.
put in the field goal block team. There's just your basic fade pattern to the corner.
Got him. He burned number 5.
Yeah.
Meager, Pat Meager.
Great,
out there
great play.
with 1 second left in the half. And the Colts fail on the extra point attempt, though.
Again, we don't know what the Troy High School records are, but I bet they've already broken the single-game passing record in the first half.
So Rance to Connor. And, hey, Rance has got some passing yardage tonight.
And, Gary Griffith talked to us before the game, but I said the big thing is just getting him his confidence. He said he just, in practice he looks great, in games he doesn't, and he was basically blaming it on this quarterback camp he went to in the summer. But he says now he thinks he's got it going. Let's take a look right here. Rance is looking back, and he went to his first read. He goes left to Connor, and he beats his man to the corner. You see right here, not that hard of a catch to make either. And who knows, maybe we'll see Connor in the second half. We haven't seen him. That was the 6th quarter of Troy football we've seen. We've never seen this guy on the field before.
And you know what? That was a nice touch. He just lofted it up there, let the receiver just get underneath it,
Well,
catch
he's
the ball.
finally forgotten all that stuff he learned at that quarterback camp that messed him up so bad.
There we go. That's the score here at halftime. The Troy Colts stun the Highlanders with 1 second left on a throw to the end zone. And, well, to the moon, Alice. You know what I'm saying? This is, someone's going to be
One of these days.
talking in the Highlanders halftime huddle here as the Highlanders trail by 6, 13-7 here at home. And we'll be back with some halftime stats for you right after these messages. Stay with us.
If you wish a video cassette of TCI Sports, the cost is $25. Send a check payable to TCI, along with your name, address, and the names of the teams that played in the game, to TCI Sports Videotapes, 4500 Delamere Boulevard, Royal Oak, Michigan, 48073. Remember to tell us which game you wish to receive. And thank you for watching TCI Sports.
The TCI Game of the Week. This week we're at Adams High School, and the Adams Highlanders trail the Troy Colts by 6, 13-7 here at halftime. And looking at the halftime stats, the Troy Colts 94 yards rushing, 53 for Adams, which is a little bit of a surprise that Adams would not be a little bit higher. Yards passing, the Troy Colts lead 98-61. Now that is a big surprise.
And even more surprising, both teams have more yards passing than rushing. And I'm pretty sure in Troy's case that may be a first ever, and we kind of elaborated on that maybe too much to the point that Griffith's upset with us, but what the heck.
You saw the total yards, 192-114. Troy's scoring drive right before halftime, in fact 1 second before halftime, 3 plays, 57 yards, 51 seconds off the clock, 26 yards on the pass from Rance to Connor. And Rance did a real nice job in leading Connor. He threw it up there, just hung it up there for him to catch. And the Troy Colts, surprisingly, with a touchdown there, lead 13-7. Now, not surprisingly that they lead, but surprisingly that they get
and the way they did it, yeah. And I think 2 touchdown passes in one game is a Troy High School record. Oh, it's 2.5. We've just heard, but I guess that's like a 2-point conversion that they threw for once. Because we're also pretty sure this is the first time ever they had more passing yards in a half than rushing yards.
Chris Wasson to do the kicking. Back to receive. Topher and Adams. This one going to Topher. Jared Topher takes it at about the 15. Bouncing outside to about the 29, 30-yard line. We'll see where they mark it. Just shy of the 30-yard line. Here's the first touchdown for you.
Well, this is the play that sets up the first touchdown, actually. It's a pass to Anderson. First touchdown came a play later on a run by Fisher. But again, with two running teams, it's been the passing game that set up everything. And here is the run by Fisher that we thought we were about to see. First touchdown of the game, and I'm sure we'll come back to the other scores after this play.
And that was Fisher 5 yards out with 13 seconds left in the first quarter. He scored the first one. Topher on the first down carry, carries for about 5 or 6 and then pushed forward for another couple of yards. Here's the second TD, and this one scored by the Colts in the second quarter with 7:34 left. A 28-yard pass from Rance to McCarty, and McCarty just rambles now.
Simple rollout pass, and McCarty gets a little block from Freilich coming up here, rolls into the end zone, easy touchdown. And lastly, we'll see the last second play.
And that made it 7-7, and here's the last second play.
And hopefully we'll get this in just before they get the snap off for the next play.
And we do.
There it is.
And that was Connor, 26 yards from Rance. The Colts still moving. Look at this. McCarty not brought down until he gets to the 35-yard line of the Highlanders.
And most importantly, Gary Griffith actually gets to look at some offense now. He was, 30 yards away. Now the whole team's with him because that's where the ball is. But Griffith was, as usual on offense, 30 yards from the rest of the team because that's not his thing. Defense is what he does. Here's a great run by McCarty. Same thing he was doing against Clarkston 2 weeks ago. He's going off tackle and little misdirection, getting as many yards as he can.
So McCarty getting up there in the yardage himself now. So Topher and McCarty complimenting each other with some big runs, and now taking it himself is Rance on a first down. That's an unusual call there, Joe.
Yeah, and I guess Griffith isn't going to get too involved. He just went to the other 30. Now he's getting closer to the 50. It's kind of fun. I hope we can get a shot at Griffith sometime. Now he's with the rest of the team, but I hope later on offense we can get a shot at this guy not doing his thing. Or, I guess, doing his thing on offense. He's basically thinking about defense.
2nd down and 8 coming up now for the Colts. There you see Gary Griffith.
He's probably yelling at the two-way players, don't forget to tackle when we get on defense.
And an equipment problem down there on the field for McCarty. His hip pad is not staying in. The referee down there checking it, and it's going to be all right.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't take too much time there, Jim DeJager, the Adams coach, as long as it doesn't take too much time, it won't make you sit out of play.
2nd down, about 8. The pitch goes back to Topher, way back. Topher bouncing outside and spinning away from Boyd. Gets close to a first down. I think he got it. Big run by Topher. He did pick up the first down.
And Topher, and now Griffith's back where he belongs on the 45-yard line. That's more important than the game, actually. But Topher spreading the defense out a little bit. They'll probably come back, I would think, with a little fullback dive, but they might just go with a hitch pass here. Definitely spreading that defense out and not allowing them to play too tight.
The Colts on their first possession here in the second half, moving very well. The Highlanders may want to call a timeout.
Gary Griffith right here. Take a look where Gary Griffith is, and let's spread this out. Gary Griffith. Here's Gary Griffith. Here's the team. That's a good 20 yards.
And a flag on the play after Topher carries.
There's a flag on the play, too. Right in front of where he got tackled. Holding on Troy.
Yep. Troy gets knocked back, a little stall here in their drive.
Yeah, so you put Connor in now and throw a touchdown pass.
Take a look at the run by McCarty, and there they throw, or rather by Topher, and they just throw the flag.
Yeah, and you don't know really if Freilich's right there, and maybe he committed the hold. You don't know, but the flag looked like it came away from the play where, as far as
Against
preventing any kind of tackle.
Repeat the down.
We'll have the down over, and we'll knock them back. Refs still have yet to mark it. Ball will go back inside just outside the 30 to about the 32-yard line. 1st and 10 there, or excuse me, 1st and 17.
Right, because it's from the spot of the foul.
Here we go, I formation. And Topher, big hole, and he follows his blocker, number 26 in there, Appledorn. Dan Appledorn filled in for McCarty at the fullback position and opened up a big hole for Topher. Let's take a look.
Whatever it is they saw at halftime is working. You see right there, a great block by Appledorn and the rest of the line, too. They moved all the linemen out, got a hold of the linebackers, and made the D-backs make the play.
You see Topher on the sideline. And I don't know if he's injured or not. Yeah, he's taking a seat for a second.
Well, he's rubbing his eyes. He might, I don't know if that's an injury or if he's maybe got dirt in his eyes.
Just underway here in
He might have got poked in the eye.
the second half. And the Highlanders stack it up now, and things getting a little tight now for the Colts down in Highlander territory inside the 20.
Yeah, but really for the Colts, the way you're able to take time off in this game with both these offenses, the field goal here is huge because the obvious 9-point lead and 2-possession lead that they would have.
3rd and 3 coming up for the Troy Colts. .8:28 left here in the third quarter. We start the second half. Rance nowhere to go with it as the pitch man was covered. Adams was out there to get the pitch, and the Highlanders covered it perfect.
Yeah, that play just never happened. And here, didn't sell the fake at all, which is the biggest problem with that. If you're going to run the option, you got to sell the fake to the fullback. You got to make somebody commit to it. Nobody committed to the fullback. He could have handed it off, and it would have worked. Made a very weak attempt at the fake of the handoff. Went out. They know right then it's an option. Cover the pitch man, go ahead and take the quarterback out. Even if he gets a yard, it won't be a first down. Now it's a 4th and 4, and Troy calls a timeout.
Saw number 70, Kevin Schad in there, and there you see Jim DeJager, head coach for Adams. The Master Anglers right here on TCI 63, Thursday at 7 p.m.
And most importantly, this guy, 2 fish, Gomez, 1 fish.
Oh, you're right.
So who really is the master angler?
How did that happen?
Yeah, come on.
Well, you know, that's what happens. That's what happens when you don't produce your own spot here.
Yeah. I guess that guy would be like the super master angler.
That's the Troy Colt fans on the far sideline. And there you see quarterback Janeski warming up, Jason Janeski.
Yeah, the quarter's almost half over. He hasn't been able to see the field yet.
He hasn't been on the field. The Highlander offense has yet to get on there.
And to reiterate, this is a huge play. If they're going for it, they've got it. You know, they're going to obviously look for the touchdown. If they are kicking, well, that's a 9-point lead and, again, a 2-possession lead. But it looks like they are going for it.
Here we go. Big down here, 4th and about 5.
They got that full house backfield where they usually just tell you where they're running and dare you to stop it.
Power eye right. They go to the right. They fake. They got him wide open. Appledorn. Touchdown, Colts.
And 3 touchdown passes has got to be a Troy record.
From the 20-yard line.
For a season. And everybody that's going to play Troy the rest of the year is having nightmares right now because Kyle Rance is getting his confidence, and that running attack that they've got is now being matched or maybe even bettered by its passing attack. You see Appledorn wide open. And I think Adams was thinking what we were thinking there, is that they're running it right up the middle. They're going to dare you to stop it. They're going to go their strength against your strength and get the first down. Appledorn wasn't covered. Easy touchdown.
A big play for the Colts. They call timeout now.
That's their second one.
So the Colts score with 1 second left in the first half and now take a big drive, eat up a lot of the clock, and they stun them on a 4th down play as they were looking for the run and throw to a wide open Appledorn.
Yeah, and I don't know if we can get the high view of that play, but you'll see what they were trying to do. You know, it's their basic, that full house backfield, just going to run right, have 2 fullbacks lead the way. Usually it's a lineman at one of the fullbacks, and dare you to stop it. Well, everybody from Adams took the dare, went in, tried to stop it. Appledorn snuck through underneath, and I'll tell you, yeah, if Kyle Rance hadn't made that throw, he might have gotten yanked, even though he's had a great game.
Yep. Appledorn was so wide open. Everybody was anticipating the run. You and I were probably anticipating
You know, by the end of the year, we're probably going to be talking about what a great passing attack Troy has and how they never run the ball.
We're waiting the extra point attempt now. Should they go for 2 or should they just kick the extra point? Let's see what they do.
Go for 2, I think. Adams has a real good kicker. If they score twice, they're going to make both extra points most likely and get the 21. I think you have to go for 2.
Here we go. Kyle Rance to set up. He's got McCarty and Adams in the backfield, and they're going for 2. 2 receivers up top. And they go to the air. Rance getting pressured, unloads off the fingertips of, it was Adams down there.
The throw was there.
Yeah.
It really should have been caught.
He had a lot of receivers down there, and just a matter of which one to throw to.
I really
Let's take a
thought
look.
they were going to quarterback sneak it because there was a hole there left by a linebacker. But right now, Rance buying a little time, rolling right, and that ball could have been caught.
And
Could have been caught. It could have been caught on a
twice.
deflection.
Yeah, almost in the back of the end zone there
Should have
by
been caught the
Freilich.
first time.
So the score stays at 19-7. The Colts lead with 7:47 left in the third quarter. And the Colts have stunned the Highlanders here on their first drive. Highlanders forcing a fourth down play on a 4th and 5, and Jim DeJager looking on and thought he had him stopped.
And that's got to be the last play you expect to see. Even if they were going to try some sort of passing, you'd think it'd be similar to what they just tried on the 2-point conversion, roll it out for about 6 yards, which you need for the first down.
So the Colts to kick off now, back to receive. Let's take a look. Sanders is the deep man. Fisher. And even number 14, Janeski's in there to return. And who's got it? Anderson drops it. It goes inside the 5. Anderson trying to find some room, and he does. Look at this. Squirts out back out to about the 15-yard line. So a good effort. He got 10 out of it, but
not the disaster it could have been.
yeah, not as bad as it could have been as Anderson got out to about the 15.
Now the Adams offense, which hasn't played since about a minute left in the first half, gets on the field for the first time. Here you see once again Anderson just has a little trouble getting a hold of the football right here.
I think the way the Highlanders set up for this return, they had 4 guys deep, kind of made this a confusing play.
Every kickoff return they've had tonight's been a little confusing. That other one, they had that strange reverse.
Here's Sanders breaking it open on the wide side for a big gain on a first down play.
And you have to expect him to get the ball a little more, even though you're down more, you're down 2 possessions, you've got plenty of time, but now you go to your strength. You've got to go to the main man. You can't be a decoy anymore. Turn him loose, and that's what they're doing.
Sanders breaking through in heavy traffic and manages to pick up about 9 yards on it. It's second and a long one now for the Highlanders. Anderson split all the way down to the bottom of the screen.
Well, now he came off the field.
Now he comes off. Looked like he was coming down to line up. Fake, and they go to the air. Janeski's going to run it.
They got the first down.
And he picks up the first down. Ralph, a good play on a broken play. Jason Janeski decides to run it, but I don't know if this is really what they had in
I
mind.
think it's a good decision. You take a look right here. He's looking downfield. Stop it for a second there. He turns upfield. He doesn't really get a shot. Well, I guess they weren't going to stop it right there. That's okay. He was looking downfield. He had 3 receivers all in the same area. Looked like they were open, but they all had D-backs behind them. Each guy probably thought he was open. The quarterback's looking, though, and sees white jerseys behind him, ready to make the plays, get the easy 2 yards, get the first down.
The Troy Colts eating up 3 minutes and 13 seconds. A little bit more than that, I think, huh?
That was the start of the
Start of the quarter, and they got it back at 7, so they ate
something
up.
like 6 minutes. Or
Yeah,
5
probably
minutes.
about 6 minutes. They ate up a little bit more of that, but 7 plays and a touchdown. How's that?
Yeah, and 3 touchdown passes to 3 different players. So not only do you have to worry about both aspects of Troy's offense now, you don't know who to cover because he's going to everybody. And Freilich hasn't caught one of those touchdown passes.
Jim DeJager looking on as his offense now trying to get moving. 2nd and about 6 coming up. Handoff to Sanders as he tries to muscle forward for a couple. It'll be 3rd and about 4 or 5 coming up. Let's see where they mark it.
When you watch a guy like Sanders,
3rd and 4.
I don't even think that's his 10th carry yet. But you figure somewhere along the line he's going to get a shot at a little open field running. He hasn't gotten that chance yet. He can't get past the linebackers. Once he can get into that open field, maybe he can use some of that breakaway speed and bust a long one. Troy defense just hasn't let that happen yet.
Here we go, 3rd and 4, 5-10 counting down here in the 3rd quarter. Off tackle is Fisher, and he gains a couple, and it'll be 4th and short yardage, and possibly punting down here for the Highlanders.
It's a tough decision. I think it looks like they're going to send the punter out there, but don't know. I mean, I guess logic says, yeah, you do have to punt because you're on your own 40, but I don't know, maybe you do go for it.
4th down, about 1.5 yards here, close to 2 yards.
They're
and
pulling the quarterback off.
it's
so
time to punt.
Yeah.
So the Colt defense holds on to the Highlanders here. The Highlanders started at their own 15-yard line, managed to get out to the 40.
And actually, Jimmy Jagger did a smart thing. He waited till the last second to send the punt unit on, not allowing Troy to put its return team on.
High snap, and he gets it off. And the Colts will get it at about the 36-yard line. So a high snap fielded well by McCoy. Damon McCoy managed to get up in the air and get that down and get it off.
Yeah, and then it landed on one of his linemen's head when he punted it, which technically, I guess, people are sometimes talking about it being a penalty. Technically it is, because anytime the kicking team touches a punt, it's a penalty, but the penalty is it's down where he touched it. There's no yardage. It's the same as when you down a rolled punt.
And that's what the refs are talking about now
Shouldn't
down on
be
the
a penalty.
sideline.
It hit the back of his head.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out what to call. And if you get it the same place, it shouldn't even be a penalty.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can hear what they're saying down there. Well, the ref has to turn his mic on, of course,
we
and
can't listen.
we thought he might have had it on.
So now they are going to call that a penalty? See, I don't know high school rules. I don't like pro rules.
No, they don't.
Okay.
They get the ball there.
Yeah, it's technically a no-yard penalty. Because that's what it is whenever you do see someone down a punt. It's technically a penalty for touching the ball illegally.
Here we go, 1st and 10, ball on the 36. And the Highlanders read this one.
a little stuff going on afterwards, too.
McCarty on the carry, nothing there as the Highlanders stack it up. It'll be 2nd and 10 now. Let's take a look and see who got in there.
Yeah, and now if you're Troy, you do have to go back to that running attack just to run as much clock as you can.
In there for sure was number 70, and that was Shad, one of the captains.
Yeah, you saw Nick Tchaikovsky and I'm not sure who that was from Adams. Going at it a little bit after the play.
2nd and 10. Topher outside, big gain, and it'll bring up 3rd and short yardage. Finally wrestled down by Anderson and number 54, Duffy.
Topher busting to the outside trying to read his blocks. You'll see right here. And you can tell, if you've been able to see it all night, Troy relies a lot on blocking from its receivers. And right here, Topher slowed down, comes up, and Freilich right there wasn't able to get in. And his play's moving so fast, you can't do anything about it. But Freilich wasn't able to get in and make the blocks, which he has made on occasion on those runs to the outside, which turned a 7-yard run into a 17-yard run. Still a great play for the Colts.
3 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Flag down, and it looks like a holding call coming up as Topher picks up the first, but they'll bring it back.
Yeah, that was thrown in the spot where they usually do call that.
Clock stopped at 2:56 left here in the 3rd quarter. The Colts lead 19-7. And this will knock them back. It'll be down over. Let's hear the call.
We got holding against the white. We'll walk it off, replay it down.
Here we go.
Let's take a look and see. Well, I'm not sure which guy they called it on, but
Well, he was looking back that way, so it's hard to see.
they always say there's holding on every penalty, on every play. It's just a matter of whether they see it or not. I know someone who is an official, who's more of a line judge, and it's his job to call holding. He said the fact is you can't watch the whole line, and you just decide this play I'll watch the right side, this play I'll watch the left side. If the other side's holding, it's not getting called. Next time they watch the side that was holding.
Here we go. 3rd and 13. Rance back to throw. Has a man downfield, overthrows him. Intended down there for Gary Freilich. A lot of commotion up here in the press box. We're trying to figure out what all the...
Well, I think the Adams coaches thought one of their defenders was lined up offside. Now, I don't know if he was or not. Refs didn't see it, so I guess he wasn't. But it's 4th down. You see Rance looking downfield, just overthrows his man.
Yep. Intended for Freilich down there and just overthrew him. Now a 4th down forced by the Highlander defense.
And
it's a bad snap, and they're going to have to fall on this. Even if they pick it up, it doesn't matter. The Highlanders pick it up in great field position on the bad snap. And the Troy Colts turn it over. Truza could not even get anything off on that one.
Yes. obviously, that's even better than a turnover. That's a turnover 18 yards back. And that'd have been a great catch if Truza could have made it. That snap went high and right. Let's see if we can take a look here. That went a good 3 yards to his right, your left as you're looking at it.
Way off to the right, and there's no way that he was anticipating that. That came as a surprise. Anderson in motion. Anderson gets it in the backfield, and he's trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. As reading it in there was number 40 for the Colts, Conley.
You got to think inside the 20-yard line if you're Adams, you're going to have to get the ball to Sanders. And just, even though Troy knows it's coming, you're going to have to give it a shot. Maybe,
2 minutes.
Yeah, maybe try and release him out on a screen pass or something, but get him in the open field somewhere along the line.
Now under 2 minutes left here in the third quarter. And the Highlanders looking to get in the end zone now. The refs call timeout down on the field here as we have another equipment problem. And this time...
It's taken care of already.
Okay, they already fixed it. It was number 64 down there.
Yeah, Truza.
Hand off to Sanders. He bounces outside. Look at him go. Charlie Sanders. Touchdown.
The balance he showed and the awareness of where that sideline was.
Along the sideline. I was waiting for him to go out of bounds, but he doesn't.
Yeah, bust the outside, little block in the back, but I think he had him from the front at first. Takes the outside, and right here he's going to tiptoe the sidelines for the last 5 yards, and we can't really see it because one of his coaches was in the way, but it was pretty good. Good block by Anderson, too, to free him.
The
Let's see
extra
if we can
point
see
coming
from
up.
here.
The extra point is good, and it's 19-14 now.
And a 5-point game, which means a touchdown simply gives them the lead, and Adams would have to go for 2 for the field goal lead.
1:39 left in the third quarter. A lot of time being eaten up by both teams off the clock. Even though they are passing, Joe,
Yeah.
a lot of times getting off the clock as they primarily go to the run, then they'll throw a couple passes in there. That time, Sanders.
Yeah, with a 20-yard drive,
incredible
you don't
run.
need to throw. It's a 2-play drive. You don't need to even think about throwing the ball.
But the Colts ate up a lot of this quarter on their first drive. And the Highlanders only got the ball twice in that quarter, not doing much the first time, then this
Right.
drive getting in.
And Gary Griffith, as his team's about to go on offense, probably going to, go.
Here he goes.
Going away from
He's
everybody.
starting to walk
Take a
away.
look at Gary Griffith here. There's nobody to his left, and look at the rest of the team here. There's Gary Griffith. Now he's going back to talk to some people. Once they actually have the ball on offense, though, he'll be off as far away as he can go. 30-yard line.
Here's Wasson to kick off. Ball dropped and now picked up and taken
That's Connor.
by Connor. Connor who had the touchdown. Look at him going all the way across the other side of the field and came up with a good return. It could have been disaster.
Yeah, kickoffs have been like the best plays tonight. Every kickoff's been exciting. Look at there, it just bounces right back to him, and now he's taking it right. Starts to lose a little yardage here and turns on the speed. At this point, well, now you'll see him turn it around to the outside. Hits a point where you start thinking he might score.
And now it's just a foot race out to the outside to get to the sideline.
Yeah, I'd say the only thing that got in his way from scoring was the sideline.
Refs again not starting play. Here we go now. 1:31 left in the third quarter. The Troy Colts having possession just outside the 41-yard line. And a handoff to Topher right up the middle. First down into Highlander territory at a ball about the 46-yard line. And I'll tell you, the Colts on a play like this.
This goes back to your classic Troy offense, which, the passing game was working so well. They hadn't been doing this for a while. We forgot all about it. Now you go back to that simple off-tackle stuff. Use the big lineman, go behind him, use your fullback, and let the tailback follow him through.
It was McCaldon on the tackle, number 26 in the backfield. Just missing it was number 54, Duffy. Here's another dive play for the Colts, and they seem to be working the clock here.
Yeah, that time it was McCarty.
McCarty stretching out down there. The Rochester Adams drive, 2 plays, 18 yards, 54 seconds off the clock, and the 18-yard run by Sanders did it all.
Yeah, that last run, by the way, by Topher put him over the 100-yard mark, 13 carries, 108 yards. And I'm not sure what Sanders' yardage is at yet. It was a great run, but they didn't have enough field area for him to gain a lot of yards on the last drive. Kind of limited by your great defense.
Rants the pitch, and a strange pitch it is, out to Topher. Topher gains a couple out of it. Again, the noise and some of the things you hear in the background,
two seats next to us.
That's not our language that we use up here, so if you do hear something. Strange pitch back there.
I don't know if that was mistimed or something.
Look at that. There we go.
Yeah, I don't know.
Almost like a shovel pass.
Yeah, you got to figure somewhere along the line the timing or the spacing on that wasn't right. Maybe Rance thought Topher should have been somewhere or whatever, but it almost looked like maybe that was going to be a pass by Topher or something. Whatever. It didn't work too well, but they got third down, and now they got the first down.
And they pick up the first, 3rd and 4. And Topher picks up a little bit more, and they get inside the 35 to about the 33-yard line. So the Colts on the move, and the running game is working, Joe.
And Topher now piling the yardage up, which is this is the time you need him to do it, as that's the last play of the quarter. He'll just be able to keep piling the numbers up. And when we saw him 2 weeks ago, he's got the endurance to do it for 4 quarters. So just let him keep going, and every now and then throw him a card in just to.
So Topher, again, the workhorse for this team. We saw him against Clarkston, and really it's been passing that got him into the end zone, but now the Colts going with what got him here, and it was the running game behind that big offensive line. And now we head into the 4th quarter. We're up here in the comfortable air-conditioned press box, right?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, it's much cooler in here than it is outside. And now, Troy, still not in the field goal range. The field goal only gives you the 8-point lead, which still is important. At least you can't lose if something happens at the end. But obviously, they're going to try and take as much time off the clock as they can get into the end zone. I figure somewhere along the line, they're probably going to go with one of those passes on this drive. Maybe if you get a 2nd and 1 situation, 2nd and 2, when there's not a whole lot to lose.
The Colts come out now, deep in Highlander territory. Well, not that deep, excuse me. They're at the 33, 34-yard line. But they are on the move again. And this time the running game has really caught up to the Highlanders as the offensive line is just surging and picking up big chunks of yardage. Appledorn in there at the fullback position. Topher the tailback. They go to Topher. Off tackle behind Appledorn. A big play defensively, reaching in there. And getting in there looked like number 26, the defensive back. Reading that well was McCaldon.
Yeah, it's, again, kind of what you tend to see happen when Troy plays. And when any team starts running the ball like this is the defense starts to compress a little bit again, bunch up the middle, try to shut it down. Now they got to be careful because this is the time when you start either throwing those hitches or, well, I did notice though the corners for Adams are playing tight. Maybe you go back to that fade pattern like they ran at the end of the half for a touchdown. Just kind of keep an eye on where the corners are. Now they're off.
Same type of formation.
Now they're off, you go with the hits, but now they're going to go back.
They go back to Topher. A lot of room out there, and then the Highlanders pinch in on him. Getting in there is Boyd, and also number 34 down at the bottom of the pile, and that is Nibdo.
Yeah, and what they're doing now, he runs that to the outside, and we mentioned a second ago, the corners were off, but they're coming up quicker. If they're off and the receiver can either take them downfield on a pattern or just block them, that's when Topher can take that and make that 18-yard run or 15-yard run that we saw earlier. See Jager hoping his defense can hold on here. Now, if you're not making the blocker, if you're not taking them deep, they're able to come up and contain and let the linebackers come over and finish the tackle.
They've got to come up big here. 3rd and about 5 coming up. Rance has plenty of time, has his man open, and off the fingertips of Gary Freilich. Freilich was wide open. Rance had him, And that would have picked up the first down for him. Instead, they've got a 4th and 5 coming up.
Now let's take a look. I don't know if that throw was behind him or not. He sat down in the middle of the zone, which is what you're supposed to do in the throw. The throw's a little high. It wasn't really behind him. It's one of those, yeah, throw could be better. Yeah, he could have caught it. Still just a matter of inches either way. This play should have been made. But there's that factor of when you sit in the zone like that, you know there's someone behind you, and the chances are you're going to get killed.
Gary Griffith looks on. Big play right here for the Troy Colts. 4th and 5. Rance unloads again. Same play and same result.
Yeah, and he threw it a little high, and coming back to tell him he was open was John McCall, big tight end. Well, he was open about a yard short of the first down, but he's so big. He might have caught it and rolled in. I don't know if we're going to be able to see him because he's coming from the right side all the way across. And yeah, if we can roll that back, you can see where McCall was. I don't know if we can or not. But he was open. For a brief second, you had him led. If he catches it, turn it upfield, definitely get the first down. You never know with that kind of size. All you have to do is run over one defensive back. And McCall is 6'3", 245.
Highlanders get it now as they come back. Charlie Sanders is stacked up, and the Troy Colts read that one.
Yeah, now the last time Adams had the ball, as we mentioned, they didn't have enough field space for him to get a ton of yards. Fact was, that touchdown was the first time he's been able to get outside the defense and get into open field territory where he dealt with D-backs. If that touchdown run would have been a touchdown from the other 10.
So it's kind of like the way the Lions use Barry Sanders. They're not using him effectively. The Highlanders aren't using him that way either, huh?
Well, they might be. I don't know. They haven't
Anderson on a counter. Nothing there. It's going to be 3rd down just that quickly.
Yeah, you got to get the play set up. It's like I say, he's been real patient with being a decoy. And a lot of high school, you have to do it. The defense is built to stop your star. You do have to use him as a decoy. Now that you're losing, though, you try to go back to him. The fact is, they showed they can break him open, and he can get past all those guys. If somehow that play can be set up, and right now you've got the wide side to the right, which is, now they're going the other way, is the play that worked for the touchdown.
3rd and 10, back to pass. Pressure put on by the Colts. He's got to get rid of it, and he's finally out of bounds, and Janeski just ran out of room there.
Yeah, he was trying to find an open man. Nobody was open when he first looked. By the time people started to get open, he's trying to run for his life. As you'll see here, he starts to scramble. He's getting some pressure from the defensive line. At this point, there's some guys open. Well, a lot of good that does anybody. He's trying to save his own life there. And there he just stepped out of bounds, ran out of space. And that's, rolling out to the short side of the field. Nothing you can do about that.
With a 4th and 18, the Highlanders are forced to punt. McCoy gets it off. Past the 50, taken by Adams. Colts set up the return, and it's a good one. Look at Adams, nobody there, and finally brought down. He had one man to beat, and Fisher was right there. If Fisher did not stop him, he was gone.
Oh, yeah. And now he's down, too. And I don't know if that's a cramp or not.
Let's take a look at the setup of the return.
Just turns around the other way and has the blocking set up there. Now he turns the speed on, and right there, you see, here's the blocking, and he's got a lane right here, and the tackle's going to come from over there.
He's got daylight, and then finally, out of nowhere, Fisher comes up.
And Fisher, again, Fisher's a running back. He is pretty fast himself. And right here, the same play, you're going to see the blocking set up the lanes, and he's gone. And again, Fisher just comes from out of nowhere. But that, again, that's his job. He's fast. He's supposed to do it. And it had been tough for those other two guys to have caught him. Plus, he had a block set up, too, if he had gotten past Fisher.
Yeah, if Fisher didn't dive to get him, that might have been his ankle that's hurting because he did make an ankle tackle. If Fisher didn't dive to stop him, then he would have been gone. Yeah. And it looks like it was his ankle that's hurt, the way Fisher got a hold of him.
And he's, you don't want to speculate from here, but looks like it's one of those kind of ankle twists more than a sprain. It just happens when you get tackled like that. Hopefully he'll be back in a couple of plays.
The great return, he took it from about the 48-yard line and got it inside the 25 to about the 24-yard line. So a great return for Adams as it sets up the Colts for another possible score here. Topher brought down, and again, it's number 26 in there, McCaldon.
And now, you got to figure Troy's going to stick with that running game, although every time I've never said that before in the last 2 weeks about Troy, they go to one of those bootleg passes. The hitch was there on the last play. Adams has been doing a real good job of kind of disguising their coverages a bit. They might, here the hitch isn't available. Now you've got to run a corner route or a fade if you want to try and throw the ball.
Timeout down on the field. That's called by the Highlanders. Now, what happened on the last drive is the Colts were running the ball real well. And then when they went to the air, it didn't work out for them. So let's see what happens here.
Well, it didn't work out, but the fact was the plays were there. The plays were there to work. You just got to execute.
Next week, it'll be the Berkeley Bears taking on the Rochester Falcons as we travel down the road a little bit here in Rochester. And it's Saturday and Monday at 7 p.m. right here on TCI 63.
We should move to Rochester. We're here every
haven't,
week.
didn't we?
Yeah, we're here every week. And Topher's up to 123 yards rushing now.
And that should please Gary Griffith, but right now what would please him is another 6 points.
Yep.
His stalls have cost him a little bit on the point total. Stall drives, but then again, he is not involved in the offense.
No,
You pointed that out, how far away he is when the offense has the ball.
Yeah, although now that it's getting to that crunch time, I notice he's kind of hanging out with those guys a little bit. It's kind of encouraging him. I don't think he's calling any plays, but he's...
Maybe he needs one of those things with the cheerleaders use.
Doesn't like Frank Gans, the old Lions assistant coach, had a megaphone out there for special teams. Well, I guess Griffith now, he's back off thinking about defense again, which is going to be important because unless they get a touchdown, field goal only makes it an 8-point lead, like we said before, and 8 points is one possession.
Highlander fans cheering on now, looking for another big defensive play here on a 2nd down and about 6 coming up for the Colts. In motion, McCall. Topher, big run, close to a 1st down. Let's see what the refs mark. Looks like he might be a little shy of it. No, it's going to be darn close.
Yeah, I mean,
First down.
I think it is, yeah.
He got it. Topher picks up the 1st down, and it's just inside the 15-yard line. Let's see about the 13-yard line. So 1st and 10 from about the 13-yard line, so they can pick up a 1st inside the 3.
And run at least a minute and a half off the clock, unless they score here, which is, for Troy, even better. The Adams defense is going to have to come up with a big play right here.
And, Joe, they're sticking to the ground game. They do it again. Topher over the top of the line, and he may get a couple out of that one. Not much there.
And again, like we said before, they did try the passing the last time, and that is when it messed them up, even though the plays were there. Now you go with Topher. He's been your main man for the first 2 games this year. Keep going with it. Still in the back of my mind, I think they might try and roll out something. And, maybe this time go to one of those fullbacks.
Well, the pass plays have been open.
And 2 of the touchdown passes have been to fullbacks, McCarty and Appledorn.
21 carries, 136 yards for Topher. He gets it again. This time he's inside the 10, but not much. It'll be 3rd and about 6 or 7 coming up.
Well, and that's that full house offense that they scored that 4th down touchdown on before, where they ran the fake and bootlegged it with the pass. Now you're way off to the right. If you do try a field goal on 4th down for the 8-point lead, you got the harsh angle. So do you try to run it left, get yourself the angle if you don't get the 1st down, and keep eating the clock up, or do you go to a pass? You got to figure with 7:13 left. Well, you never know. They're probably going to run.
We better hurry up and get this play off, really. Coming up on 7 minutes left in the game. 19-14, Colts lead, 3rd and about 6. Brant's to roll out. A lot of room on that side. He's taking it himself, and he's going to be short of the 1st down.
And I don't think there was ever a pass involved in that. That looked like a pretty straight bootleg with Topher leading the way. Now you got the field goal with the other harsh angle to the opposite side.
Let's take a look.
And again,
Alden making the tackle.
It's something we mentioned earlier with actually both teams, but Troy more so, not really running too much of a fake on those plays as far as handing off. That's pretty straight bootleg, taking it around. And those fakes, they look like they don't mean anything, but they do make the defense bite a little bit. But I think they were just counting on their blocking.
Here's the field goal attempt. It's blocked, and it goes out of bounds at the 5, and the Highlanders will get it. And a big defensive play by the Highlanders. Andy Grimm coming up with it.
It is Andy Grimm. Oh, okay. Andy Grimm is 57 on our roster, 56 on the field.
And #1 in the hearts of Highlander fans right now.
I'm just real impressed that you knew who it was, because I was a little dumbfounded.
So let's take a look.
Let's see, he gets right in, untouched, completely untouched.
And Grimm getting in there for
That's the second
big block.
And let's remember, they blocked an extra point earlier with Troy's. So maybe they saw something on film with Troy's kicking game.
The pass play, intercepted, Adams. And he stepped out of bounds at about the 10-yard line, 12-yard line. Let's see.
Yeah, looking for Chris Wasson, I believe.
Let's see this one again. Adams hurts his ankle again,
yeah,
but I'll tell you.
Oh, he's cramped. Oh, look at him, he's cramped. He was pulling his toe up.
Yeah.
Well,
This time it's a cramp.
drops back, he's looking down the middle. And I'm not sure if he was ever open or not.
Yeah,
You know,
he had a man down there,
he had
but
Watson down there.
a lot of white shirts down there too.
Takes a pretty good throw on the run. You know, he was still rolling out. Even though you are running to your strong side, you're still going to be thrown off your back foot just by the nature of the roll. And
Colts with a big break. He was intending that pass down there for Chris Wasson, number 4, who had to dive for it.
yeah,
But stepping right in front of it was Adams.
it's a tough play to make, but at the same time, if the pass is there, there's nobody behind Chris Wasson either.
And another cramp. It is hot. It is humid, and the players, this will happen down there. Ball at the 12-yard line. Topher on the carry. Bulls his way forward for maybe about 3-4 yards. How about 2?
Yeah.
Adams is up, and he's walking off now. He was off to the sideline, off the field,
Yeah, he's
and making his way back to the bench now.
a couple of huge plays, though, he's made tonight.
Here we see the Highlander coaching staff looking on. They need a big play, just like the Colts just came up with.
Yeah, their defense did it a minute ago. They did.
Yeah.
They can, you know,
The Highlanders held defensively. Let's see if they can do it again. 2nd down and 8. Rance with a full house in the backfield. They run right, and Topher slipped in the backfield. Looked like he lost the ball. That's why he fell.
yeah, but you know, now you've got 3rd down, and you know we've talked about it before. Let's take a look at this play.
Probably a better angle here.
From the end zone, see what happened. I think he probably just slipped, as you're going to see right here. Topher take the ball here, and I think he just slips. Let's see. Takes it.
No, he lost the ball.
Did he? Oh, he did. Oh.
He did lose the ball. That's what it looked
Yeah.
like. He looked like he was trying to go back for something, and something
listen,
very important.
Troy uses their last timeout. And talk about
Close contest.
shake your key in the big play, and you'll hear a lot of keys, and I think you can hear those keys shaking in the Adams side of the stands. We talked before that Troy run is the cornerstone of their offense. It's what they do. The fact is, they haven't been able to run it into the end zone
No, they haven't.
yet. So maybe on 3rd down here, you do have to throw. You know, the big thing, I think, if you're going to throw, though, is throw over the middle. Because if you throw outside and something goes wrong, it's coming back all the way. There won't be anybody there to make the play. I don't care how far it is.
There's a fan with his home camera. No.
That's the master
That's the
cameraman.
master angler man himself, Mark Gomez.
That's the master angler who only caught one fish, though.
Well, the Colts have to think about it. You're right. They have not been able to run into the end
Yeah.
zone. The pass plays have been there. They have
Right.
been open, but now on the short end zone, things are going to kind of pile up a little bit. Do you want
How
to
many
pass?
times do you see teams? You know, you watch on NFL, throw the outside, and if you get a quick D-back come in there. You get like an Anderson or somebody like that come in there and take it. It's gonna be hard to catch him.
Or maybe a screen pass out here to Topher, who's one-on-one out here with a defensive
Yeah.
back. Roadshow video. Don't forget to tune in. The guy here on the left is Bubba. This guy here,
That's Beavis.
that's our director tonight. That's Pat Collar. That's the guy calling all the shots tonight. He just called for that dissolve you're seeing here.
And this guy is too smart to be on that show.
That's Adams, Taron Adams, who came up with the
other
big
thing, Troy,
interception.
you know, and it's a kind of a dumb thing to say, but they're winning. They don't need to do anything.
Man in motion was McCarty. They go back out on the pitch to Topher, one-on-one in the backfield. And slowing him down back there was number 34 on a big play. Midbow. Midbow got in there and slowed Topher down.
There, and all the linebackers came in after.
Yeah.
It was Midbow who made the play. He got through untouched, really. Comes
Right
right
there.
here, stops him, has his legs slowed up. By the time he gets away, he was already on his way down, but then everybody else came in, led by Kevin Shadd to finish it. And once again, they're going to try a field goal. And remember, they've had field goal blocked, an extra point blocked, and if it gets blocked way back here, you never know what'll happen.
Yeah, they can return it.
You know that they're thinking, don't let this get blocked.
And this is up. And it's
Great
good.
hit.
So the Colts, after a relentless effort to try to get something on the board. They get a field goal out of it.
And I don't know how close Andy Grimm got that time, but he gave that a heck of an effort again to block it. The guy who blocked the last field goal, for O'Meara, that field goal could have been good for another 10 yards.
Let's see, what was that, about 28 yards?
28 yards, something like that, yeah.
The 28-yard field goal with 4:17 left in the game makes it 22-14 now in favor of the Colts.
And that also popular two-point conversion could come into play.
Yep. And here's the assistant athletic director here at Adams High School. A lot of help in getting this game on for you. Dick Logan, the assistant athletic director here. And thanks to his cooperation.
Good concessions here. Good pizza.
Good concessions. Still waiting for your book on concessions.
Oh, there's only had 3 games. It'd be more of a pamphlet.
O'Meara to kick. O'Meara low line drive again. Tough to handle. Fisher along the sideline now, and he's out of bounds and down outside the 35-yard line to about the 36, 37.
4 minutes left. Plenty of time, I can say. Not in the position where you got to start throwing or you got to start hitting out of bounds. They can still run their offense. But Charlie Sanders, once we said it before, they haven't been able to break him. Detroit defense obviously is built to stop him. I don't care who you are. I mean, Minnesota Vikings last week against Barry Sanders, we're going to stop you. Let's stop you. You might have to go to somebody else, but if Charlie Sanders can break just one play, that's all you need, one play. If he can get to the outside, he's gone. And once he's in the open field, I don't think anyone's going to catch him.
Here we go, a counter play to Sanders, and right there is McCall to stop him.
Yeah, you know, and I'll tell you, the Adams blockers are doing what they're supposed to do. They're basically blocking every play, all but one of the Troy guys. It's hard to block everybody, but each time that one Troy guy is making the play.
The Troy scoring drive, 3 plays, 12 yards, 1:53 off the clock on the 26-yard field goal by O'Meara.
And the rain is coming down.
Yeah, some of the fans came protected. And we talked about the threatening skies that we had at the beginning of the game. I'm surprised that it held off this much.
And I'd like to right now thank Pat for not making me the sideline reporter.
Here to throw. He's got his man open. Fisher down the sidelines. And inside the 35 to about the 42-yard line.
Yeah, and you know, we've been crediting Troy for this all night. Adams hasn't been thrown as much, so we haven't had the chance. But on this play, Chris Wasson, number 4, wide receiver, makes a block that frees up the play. If you can stop the play right here, stop it right there, you're going to, well, I guess there you go, right there. Chris Wasson right here makes the block here that lets him go, get an extra 5 or 7 yards. You need those yards.
Sanders wrestling for his yardage tonight, not being able to kind of break free of anything.
Yeah, you know, you keep looking at them, though. Guys like that, I mean, you don't want to overstate it, but great running backs like that, it's going to happen. You know, the defense is built to stop you. This is as good a defense as they're ever going to see. I mean, there's probably maybe not a better defense anywhere in the state. You just look at him and say, he's going to break one eventually. You just don't know when.
Here we go, back to pass. Janeski's going to take it himself as he is forced out of the pocket. And we're under 3 minutes left in the game, and the Highlanders stop the clock.
He's out of bounds. And the Adams coaches, I don't think you could actually hear him that time. They were kind of quiet about it. But he's rolling out, and you're not going to see it on your screen, what they're talking about. But Charlie Sanders, who was at the top of your screen, rolled out. Well, maybe you can stop right here for a second. Charlie Sanders, right there. As he's rolling, Charlie Sanders was open, and they were saying, look at him, look at him. If he could have turned around and made that pass, which is a real tough pass to make, it's a touchdown because the whole defense rolled with the quarterback.
Back to the action now. And on the carry, looks like Fisher, and he picks up the first down. The Highlanders are on their way to possibly tying this contest. They've got plenty of time, 2:49 left.
Yeah, here's the basic off-tackle play, off-guard play actually by Fisher. Fullback dive, run it right up the middle, get the first down. Stop the clock for the chain movement, 2:49, plenty of time. You don't need to be hurrying yet.
And there's Fisher. You can see the rain coming down down there on some of the replays. There's the rain.
You know they're thinking about that pass to Sanders somewhere along the line right now. And he's open.
Janeski back to pass. He's got pressure. Off balance throw. Almost intercepted down there by number 44, Kazuz.
And again, he didn't have a chance to make the throw to Sanders because he was pressured so hard. And now it's wet and it is hard. You saw there, Kazuz wasn't able to quite get his hands on it. And it's hard to throw too. See right here, he's getting rushed already. He can't even look. Sanders is the other direction. You can't make that throw. So you try this one, and he had a guy over there, just wasn't able to get it there. Now you've got second down. Still, I think, we talked earlier, get a screen to Sanders or something. If you can get him behind the lineman, he doesn't have to deal with him. Then he can play with the D-backs and just outrun him and use his strength to maybe run one over.
Second down and 10. The throw outside to Anderson. Anderson trying to stay in bounds to gain a few more yards.
He did.
Actually, he needed to stop the clock. But
He did everything he needed to do.
Yeah.
He stayed in, got as much as he could, and then was able to, well, they had no choice. They had to push him out of bounds just by the angle of the tackle. 3rd and 4, it's obviously a 2-down situation.
Here he tries to stay in to gain as much yardage as he can, but a smart move in
you can see
being
from
able
that
to get
angle,
close.
from what we're looking at, we thought he was a lot closer to the sideline than he really was.
2:32. Sanders was in motion, and I think we got a flag on the play. I don't know if that was the call or maybe on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
it wasn't the backfield
that kind of
ref that called that, but let's see. Yeah, it's on the Highlanders, and that'll knock them back.
That just looked a little out of sync.
Yeah, Sanders took off before the snap, and I don't think he was heading the right direction. Let's hear the call.
Or not. I thought the ref
we knew what it was anyway.
Yeah.
2:31 left on the clock. 22-14 the score. The Highlanders have just made it a little tougher on themselves now. On a 3rd and 8 now.
Well, if you're gonna try that,
plenty of time though.
Pass to Sanders, even though it's going to be the opposite of what they had before. Maybe now's the time to do it.
Here we go. Janeski to throw, and intended down there for Fisher. Nothing there.
Yeah, it's a tough play, and even if he catches it, you can have a 3-yard gain. You might, and actually in that situation, you might be better to not catch it as they did, even though you don't need to stop the clock still.
I still say you haven't used a guy like Sanders effectively tonight. You should be using him a little bit more in some other creative ways, really. You've got a guy with the talent of Sanders.
Still, the Troy defense has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, but still.
Troy.
But you're talking about getting him open. Get him open on the one-on-one situation.
Well, they had it the one time, and I'm surprised they didn't go back to it. But again, when they did it, they were on the far left hash that time. They're on the far right hash. Maybe they're up. It is a wing tee. That's one of those old offenses that, only gets run in high school.
Timeout down on the
had
field.
To be called by Adams because it's 4th down, and this is, Troy used all those.
Yeah, Troy used. Yeah. So not a good question on my part. Next week, the Berkeley Bears travel to Rochester. As we stay here in Rochester, Joe and I and the rest of the crew,
moving.
We have a room somewhere in Rochester, and we're all just up here partying for the rest of the week, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
The Bears take on the Falcons Saturday and Monday at 7 p.m. right here on TCI 63.
Bears have been people, they had so many seniors last year. Everybody thought the Bears, the Berkeley Bears.
The Bears?
The Bears. Everybody thought because of all these seniors they had last year that they graduated that it might be a down year. So far this year, that's not been the case.
That was not the fault of your receiver, folks. That was a bag that we're putting over cameras because it's raining out. So we got to protect our equipment because, hey, the elements, the rain, and hopefully no snow later on this year.
But again, thank you, Pat Collar, for not having a sideline reporter this week because I don't have an umbrella.
Well, you'd be cooling off down there now. Here we go. Big play. 4th and 8 for the Highlanders. Complete, first down. Complete to Wasson. So Janeski completes it to Wasson on a big must play for the Highlanders. And look at that, 2:22 left on the clock, plenty of time.
The obvious thing about a great throw, great catch, all that, it's in the rain. Watch right here. He stops here. Slow down for a second here. He stops right here. Now, all night tonight, he's either rolled out, gotten a little panicky, gotten happy feet, and hurried to throw. This time, he just makes the play. And actually doesn't even get hit, but he stays in the pocket and makes the play.
This time, Sanders stacked up but breaks free for some more yardage. It'll be 2nd down and maybe 5 coming up.
Now you start to think, too, maybe think about how all the rain affects everybody. The rain might affect the defense. That's an aggressive defense. That's not a defense that waits for you to come to it. They come to you. If a guy like Charlie Sanders got moves, he's got strength, he's got no real weakness. He's got the complete package. Makes you miss, makes you cut going backwards. He's running forward. You might slip. He might be able to break one.
Yep.
And now breaking one is like his last touchdown. It's an 11-yard run. The last one was an 18-yard run, but you don't have to go 50.
A 4-yard gain, bad snap, ball loose. Who's got it? That's the big play right now. Let's see what happens.
Adams.
One of the Troy players said he got it, but Adams picks it up. Big break for the Highlanders. They lose the 4 that they picked up, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
I tell you, you don't want to, we're not rooting for either team or anything, but you don't want the game to end that way.
No.
You don't want it to be, you don't want it to be decided. Really, we really want it to be decided by the 2-point conversion because it'll be more exciting. But
sure.
But now let's see what else I can do. And Sanders comes out on this play, which we've seen a few times. Give him a little rest.
Here we go. 3rd and 10. Pass out and complete. And they stop the clock. It'll be 4th down and about 5 coming up. Gain of about 5.
Under a minute
Pass
left.
out to Anderson.
56 seconds. And it's going to be 4th down. And you can get the first down without scoring.
Yep. Just before the 5-yard line, looks like.
And this will be the 14th play of this drive. We talked about Troy sustaining drives earlier, 10, 11 plays. Adams doing it when they have to. And Charlie Sanders, as you'd expect, on the field for the 4th down play.
Here we go. Another crucial 4th down play for the Highlanders. 4th and 5. Janeski scrambling. Finally unloads, has his man, touchdown! Anderson in the end zone, touchdown!
He threw, that's twice he's made a great play. He threw into triple coverage because he had to. I mean, you're going to get sacked. Great throw, great catch. And I hope we can see, slow down right there. Stop it right there. This guy right here, you can't tell who it is, Charlie Sanders blocking, which, again, doesn't show up in the stats, shows up when college recruiters look at the tape, though.
Janeski to Anderson for 11 yards. And
again, Charlie Sanders right there making the block.
You talk about a big play. 4th down twice, and they made the big play. And Janeski took his time, and what patience for that quarterback.
I'm both on 4th down, and this guy, Coach DeJager told us about before the game, hey, he's experienced, he's a winner. Last week was his first loss. He doesn't want to lose again. And right now, timeout, 50 seconds left. Obviously, everything comes down to this.
Here we go, a 2-point conversion now to be attempted by the Highlanders to tie this game up. What a contest. The Colts were stopped numerous times by the Highlander defense deep in Highlander territory, and they were forced to go for a field goal. And that made it 22-14 at the time, and the Highlanders, when they had to, put a big drive together right now to get in the end zone. And that's where we stand, 22-20 with 50 seconds left in the game.
And overtime would be kind of fun, wouldn't it?
And overtime looks like...
well, 50-50 chance. They either make it or they don't.
Well, they've come up with the big play when they had to. Now, twice on a 4th down and 5, they came up big.
Well, what do you think with all the sophisticated stuff and everything you do, what do you think about just giving it to Charlie Sanders and say, run to the corner?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think they're going to do that. Let's see what happens. Here we go. The game riding on this for the Highlanders. Anderson in motion. They go to the air. Janeski pressured and loses the ball. Getting in there, number 66 for the Colts in a big play. Adam Kowalik.
Yeah, and 21, Jamie O'Brien helped out a lot too.
Yep.
Let's take a look here. He's looking, and there's just no one open. He's rolling. There's nobody open there. Truza had his hand up. We saw Truza blocking passes 2 weeks ago all over the place.
There
and
it
was O'Brien.
It was O'Brien.
Right there. Hit him and strip him. Defensive back coming up and making the play. And, all night long, there have been coverage sacks. Coverage sacks being the defensive backs like
Here we go.
O'Brien.
Watch O'Brien right there.
Comes in, strips him. But defensive backs have been making the plays downfield, covering guys and letting the sacks come in. This time, they're still covering everybody, and they got this guy still coming in to make a sack.
So Jamie O'Brien, sorry, Jamie, I've given the play to Adam Kowalik, but Jamie O'Brien got in there, the defensive back, got in there quickly and knocked the ball out Janeski's hands.
50 seconds left. Obviously, the onside kick coming, and they do have a good kicker. And they got confidence in him because they let him try a 52-yarder in the first half.
Yeah. So they can possibly pick up the ball now and go for a field goal if they get in close. Let's see what happens.
Now, unless we've miscounted, all their timeouts are gone. I'm pretty sure they're gone with that 2-point conversion.
Both teams.
They called one there. Yeah.
Here we go. Onside kick going to the right side.
Nope.
No, to the left side. They fooled him. Ball is loose.
No, refs blew the whistle. The refs blew the whistle?
An early whistle.
No, I mean, the refs threw a flag on the right, way on the other side.
Wait a second. What happened?
The refs on the other side where we thought they were kicking threw a flag, blew the whistle before that play stopped. I don't think they wanted the kick to happen.
Yeah, okay. So before the Troy player even touched it, the whistle blew. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think the ball was rolling and the whistle blew. I don't know what.
They kick it over, or do they take it at the...
Well, I mean, if it blows before the play...
Let's see what happens.
You can see everyone's thinking it's going right. He kicks left, and right about here, the whistle blows.
Before he touched it, then?
Oh, yeah. And there's a flag on the ground.
Oh, so they kick over now. Okay, so the ball still has to go 10 yards before a Highlander can touch it.
I don't know what the... I don't know if that's inadvertent whistle. I think I heard someone say inadvertent whistle. I can't believe. Yeah, I can't. God, I can't imagine that.
I said an early whistle.
Wow, man.
Because the play hadn't even stopped yet, and I didn't know that there was any kind of penalty. Is there a flag on the play?
There was. Yeah, they threw a flag over on the
But we never got an official call.
Right, exactly. I know. That's what's so...
We never got a call from the official.
No, there was a flag thrown, but I don't understand anything that happened after that.
Well, tough break for the Highlanders as they had a great play as they sent everybody to the right side and kicked it left. Now, big confusion on this. Let's take a look. They go down the middle, and he kicked it right at him. So the initial play really would have worked well for the Highlanders. That time they were out of sync, and it just didn't work out. So the Troy Colts come up big defensively as number 21, Jamie O'Brien, knocks the ball loose out of Janeski's hands, rolling out on the 2-point conversion attempt, and that was the big play.
Yeah,
let's take a look.
It's kind of very anticlimactic considering what might have happened had that first onside kick gone.
Yeah, the first one was a beauty. 40 seconds and counting down on the clock, and the Colts will just fall on this.
Yeah, they'll probably have to go one more time. On that onside kick, if you happen to kick it right to him, the idea there is to kick it hard and hope it bounces off his chest. If it does, you're probably going to fall on it. You obviously can't go to what you just tried.
Yeah. Yeah, you could have.
You could have.
It works so good. I'll tell you, everybody was thinking they would go to the right side. They came to the left side, and I think even the player on this side was, here you see the head coach.
Unhappy. Unhappy is maybe an understatement.
Let's take a look at that first onside kick again.
Yeah, let's see if we can, maybe we can see the flag up top. I don't know if you're going to see it come down. I mean,
Right
I'll tell
there.
you what, if you can go back, you're
That's
not going to see the flag. If you
There.
can roll that back a little bit, you do see the ref going to his belt to pull the flag, but that's it. You don't see it come down, but there
But
was
even then, a Troy player came up with it. So tough
then the
break.
whistle
Tough
had
break.
blown, though.
Tough break for the Highlanders. A big victory for the Colts as they squeak by again. They did it last week, 7-0 over Seaholm, and this week 22-20 over the Highlanders as the two coaches shake hands. And an exciting contest here on the game of the week for you. As Gary Griffith walks off. And boy, he's still got to get this team ready every single week.
Yeah, well, the defense, and let's be honest, we're kind of getting on their offense for Rochester Adams. Nobody else scores on these guys. Rochester Adams scored on these guys. And again, Charlie Sanders as a decoy is very effective, and it worked. He didn't have a ton of yards, not like he usually has, but it did work for him. You have to throw on Troy a little bit. And they were 5-8 passing on that last touchdown drive. They did better than most anybody does against these guys. This is not any weakling team or even an above-average team. This is the number 4 class AA team in the state of Michigan.
An exciting contest here at Adams High School, and unfortunately for the Highlanders, didn't turn out to be an overtime game like they had hoped for. And the Troy Colts come out victorious, 22-20 over the Highlanders in an exciting game here at Adams High School. We'll be back with the final stats for you and see how those turned out right after this.
Take your best shot on the next edition of Roadshow Video. This month, Bubba and Pat take you to the Double Action Shooting Center in Madison Heights to see how sharp their shooting skills are. They'll talk to experienced shooters and see who can get closest to the bullseye. So for the best in pop music videos and what's happening in the area, watch Roadshow Video. Coming up next on Channel 63.
The final here at Adams High School, the Troy Colts 22 and the Adams Highlanders 20. And let's kind of recap that second half for you, an exciting second half as we went into halftime 13-7. And this was the play that made it 19-7. It was a 20-yard pass, Rance to Appledorn coming out of the backfield.
Fourth down play.
Fourth down play.
Bootleg, everything
Yep.
going right, comes out left, and that's his third touchdown pass of the game to his third different receiver.
And it sets up a lot of fourth down plays. Here's an 18-yard run by Sanders that gets him into the end zone in the third quarter with 1:39 left.
Yeah, this was the only play of the game where Charlie Sanders was able to get outside of the defensive ends and turn upfield. Troy defense was tremendous today in containing him.
And then that set up this play. The interception for the Troy Colts that got him in field position for a field goal. Look at this. As Adams takes it around the side and gets out of bounds. And then
Fourth down,
this play here.
down 8 points.
Down 8. And look at this. Adams, Janeski, 11 yards to Anderson. They were going for the 2-point conversion after that, and it failed. But they still had the onside kick coming up, and this is the play that kind of hurt.
Well, this is the 2-point conversion.
Oh, here we
first.
go. Here's the 2-point conversion try.
You're going to see the defensive back coming in from the weak side and sack him, strip him of the ball,
Jamie O'Brien.
and now you got to make the onside kick. And this play was, we found out, whistled dead because the ref didn't blow the whistle to start the play.
And that's
So it didn't
really,
count.
yeah, and that's where it didn't count, and then they had to kick the onside kick again, and the Troy Colts recovered. The final stats of the contest tonight, the Troy Colts just dominating, really, if you look at total yardage. 207 rushing, 117 passing, and the passing yardage evened up.
Yeah, like going into the game, I think we figured it would be evened up. We didn't think both teams
Yeah.
would be that high. But the rushing yardage, Troy doubling Adams is incredible. And I think it goes right to the individual tailbacks if you look at their stats. Topher, 25 carries, 138 yards. Charlie Sanders, 61 yards on only 13 carries.
Yeah, only 13. He still picked up 61 yards,
Yeah,
and that was
that's 5
a quiet
yards.
61. Yeah.
5 yards a shot almost. That's a pretty good average. I mean, against these guys, we were talking off the air, nobody scores 20 points on Troy. The only team that did it last year was Fordson in the playoffs. They won the state title.
Yeah, and let's take a look at the scoring by quarters. Adams first, 7-0, and then Troy came back with 13. It was 13-7 at halftime, and then both teams exchanged touchdowns in the third. And then in the fourth, Adams came back to try to make it tighter, and all they needed were 2 points to tie it up.
Yeah, and you look back on this game, Troy scores in the last play of the first half. That changes everything.
It sure does.
Adams, I mean, they lost last week to Lake Orion. That's really the one that kills you. Troy, they're ranked 4th in the state. These guys could win the state title, but 7-2 is the best Adams can go. That doesn't get you in the state playoffs in this region.
Next week, a team we haven't seen before, the Berkeley Bears. Haven't seen them yet this year. We've seen the Falcons and what they can do, and they are kind of rebuilding this year, so it should be a pretty good contest between the two teams.
Well, we don't know which Rochester team we saw, because we saw a team lose to a very good Kimball team, but that team won the week before, 44-0. So they're good.
Yeah.
They're maybe not what they were last year, but they're good, and that'll give you a good test for Berkeley.
And that's where we will end up next week. This week, the final score, the Troy Colts 22, the Adams Highlanders 20, and an exciting contest here at Adams High School. For Joe Abramson and the entire hardworking TCI sports staff, I'm Dave Zorin. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week from Rochester.